WayForward Video Game Podcast.
Oh yes, whether it's a beer, a shot, or even a glass of wine, grab your favorite beverage as always, and welcome to the Level 857 Video Game Podcast. And you guys already know, we are your hosts, as always, Alg857.
The 23rd Stallion.
Turbo 857.
And your boy Big Choc, what up?
Oh yeah.
And special guests that we're having on the podcast tonight belong to a very well-respected, well-renowned indie dev / publisher who's been making hits for like the last 30 years.
Yeah, buddy.
Their talents have earned them the reputation to make games for iconic, storied, and legendary IPs that belong to AAA video game publishers. We're talking about hits like DuckTales Remastered, the Shantae series, Double Dragon Neon, Batman Brave and the Bold, Advance Wars 1 and 2, Reboot Camp, Contra, Operation Galaga. And they're just hot on the heels of releasing Double Dragon DLC infused in one of the best indie beat-em-up brawlers / action RPG that you could possibly purchase on modern consoles today.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Please welcome, for the fourth time, I believe, on this podcast, game developers from WayForward. We have River City Girls 2 writer and director, Bannon, Rudis, and Adam Tierney.
It feels so boring to just say, hi, guys.
I feel like we have to beat each other up now. In the
I know.
ring.
Just, yeah, crazy grunt.
Yes.
Yeah, brother.
Oh, man.
Acknowledge me.
Welcome
Hello.
once again, guys, coming on the
Yeah,
podcast.
good to be back.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. We
Hell yeah.
appreciate you.
Yes.
I do like that very subtle intro you give.
Yeah, he tries to keep it low key.
You know,
Oh yeah, man.
I do it because, you know, even though everyone should know who you guys are, you know, I have to do it for ones who are just like, who's on today? What's going on?
They gotta
Who is it?
know. Gotta let them
You know,
know, man.
so in case they don't know, I do a summary. It's like, oh, okay, yes, at them, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
Yeah.
guys, welcome again to the podcast. Thank you for making time to come here. We tried out the Double Dragon DLC. So far, so good. So far, no, it's actually awesome, guys.
Thank you.
You guys did a
Yeah,
great job.
I think I might have made those guys a little OP compared to everybody else, but that was kind of the idea behind it.
Oh, there's no
That's in character for them, though.
no complaints
Yeah.
at all whatsoever.
And one thing I liked about that is that you get techniques for them pretty fast, and it's not tough to like make enough money to really start, you know, getting their moves together. And every time you get a new move, it's just like, wait, I can do this. I could do this kick, the juggle. But I was like, I just bought the spin kick. What is this thing doing? I'm like, oh wow, this is crazy.
No, that started getting overwhelming. I was like, all right, I could probably save up a couple of bucks for this kick. And then they're like, oh, you unlocked some more moves. I said, God damn it. Look at all these fucking moves. I was like, you could
You
do
like that guy in the meme, like trying to hold all the moves.
Yeah,
You
it's
can hold
like-
all these moves.
It's so many. I was like, this is out of control. I'm like, oh, that's from Super Double Dragon. Oh, that's from Guided. Oh my God, I'm losing it.
That was part of the.
I think that's the thing too, because I mean, when we've been working mostly on Kunio-Kun characters, but I think at least for me and probably Ben and I grew up more on the Double Dragon games. I think people tend to know those more in the U.S. And so when we watch the Twitch streams, people unlocking the flying knee, unlocking the spin kicks and all that stuff, it's like there's such an attachment and a nostalgia to these moves that I think goes beyond even what we had with like the core characters in the initial game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's it's just I think when we did this stream, we me and Turbo, we ended on the Marion boss fight. And the way we beat her at the end was we popped her up. I did a spin kick and he joined in while she was getting juggled and did a spin kick, and then it did a slow motion. I said, "Oh my God!" I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is too much for me to deal with right now.
It
Just like,
really never gets old when you defeat a boss.
No.
Like, no matter what you really hit them with, but it is that, like, even when I play it nowadays, like I did play the Double Dragon DLC on a stream just a bit ago, and it's like, I don't know, the way you and a buddy can like do combos, and you're not like really planning this stuff out, but like the random kind of combos that can exist out of nowhere, I still get a kick out of it, even though I like designed it. But anyway,
Yeah, I think
like right there.
yeah,
Just like-
that's exactly. See, when we mess with Double Dragon Gaiden, that was one of the things that we love so much about that game is, oh, we could actually pop people in the air and my partner could jump in and do something. I'm like, oh, I never really saw that in a Double Dragon game. And then fast forward to this DLC, oh, you could do that every 5 seconds. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this is crazy right now, especially
Well,
with
I
this
think
new
Ben,
game.
you said you were trying with this DLC more than the previous characters to really get into the chaining and the attack canceling and really like give them a high degree of control in the way that they attack, even more so than the previous characters, right?
Yeah, because there's, I did play the older games, and there's always this moment where I do, well, I do the weird, awkward high split kick, and you'll see some of those animations are actually pulled over from the old NES or arcade. And even though they looked weird back then, I was like, that's the pose that they did. We have to do the same exact pose.
Yeah, of
But
course, of course.
in some of those old games, like the my favorite, the Double Dragon 2 NES version, like when you do a high kick, you can't like follow up with that stuff. So this is me kind of being like, yeah, take this, Nintendo. You can give this to me back when I was a kid.
Yep. No,
But there are, I mean, I would imagine you have not discovered all the different ways you can cancel out of things into other things with them yet.
nope. I don't think. No.
So
Yeah, I'll
if
probably
you're in the
need-
middle of using one of their special moves, try another special move during it and see if you can cancel out. There's a lot of creativity of this can go into this, into this, into this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That
Okay.
sounds
Yeah.
like so
It's
much
gonna,
fun.
it's gonna be a lot of screaming.
Yes.
It's just whenever you could discover something like that, it's like, oh man,
Yeah,
that shit is wild.
absolutely.
Sure.
Turn, you got a question?
I do. I definitely do. Speaking of, well, you guys kind of just answered the favorite. I was going to ask you your favorite Double Dragon games that you didn't have a hand in creating. In case you were going to jump to Double Dragon Neon. But what is your favorite Double Dragon games, personally?
Yeah, I played the NES ones quite a bit. I didn't play much beyond that, other than the arcade. I played the arcade game, but yeah, for whatever reason, Double Dragon 2 was just the one I played a million times. So I probably only played through 1 and 3 in the later games like a handful of times each, but I probably played through Double Dragon 2 like 50 times. And yeah, that was just, I don't know, something about that one just feels like it really came together in terms of, I love the locations, I love the challenges, just the one-off moments like the conveyor belts and all that stuff and the gears. There's just a lot of real creative stuff in that one. So that's the one for me.
It's the James Brown Abobos. That's probably what it is, man.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. It's the James Brown Abobos. Oh yeah.
That's so crazy.
I like Everyone Loves Double Dragon too. Yeah, and it's funny too. This is really great timing that you guys released the Double Dragon DLC because we just actually wrapped up a Double Dragon tier list with Top Hat Gaming Man. Was it last week? Was it or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks. 2 weeks
ago.
ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. So I was just like, oh wow! And now they're releasing the DLC. I almost think that you guys may have got cheated because River City Girls 2 could definitely go up there as a Double Dragon.
Yeah,
game.
yeah, it's pretty much a Double Dragon game.
And that's the
and-
thing is like, oh, go ahead, Adam.
Oh yeah, no, I was just you're probably gonna say the same thing. We had like total use of all the Double Dragon stuff, all of the River City Ransom stuff, and a bunch of other brands like from the beginning. Yeah, we're gonna say Bannon.
Yeah, I mean, we've been smashing these two franchises together for a
Yep.
while now. So like a lot of like, Priscilla does her own kind of redesign to things, but some people might not even know. Like Chin is in the game. Chin is
Yep.
one of the most classic like Double Dragon
Shin's in there.
enemies, and Chin's in there. Like he's got the bluish, pinkish kind of like jumpsuit on, but he pulls out the
The
nunchucks
headphones.
and does everything. Yeah, that is Chin. So
Nice.
Yeah, we got Chin, we got Linda, we got Williams.
I saw Williams. We did the side mission with
Um,
Williams
Who else
with
do we
Williams.
got?
already.
Yeah, I feel like we keep every time we expand it game by game, and with the DLC, we kind of lean more and more into the Double Dragon side than we did previously.
I dig that.
but yeah, and this is something that I was doing with like Underground as well. Like Abobo was the principal of River City High and stuff like that. I was
Yes.
trying to put in as much Double Dragon as I could.
I love the
So-
crossover between both of them. It's really crazy.
Yeah, and as I call it, like on the screen right now, I'm looking at the YouTube thing, but that is Chin in the, yeah, he's like doing the hopping around and stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, I always considered this like River City and Kunio-Kun is more like what I call the Technosverse. I guess the TCU.
TC, that makes sense. Yeah, it's actually.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
That's not bad.
Somebody did say there was some echo on the gameplay.
Oh, is
screen.
that?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't know.
Yeah, there's no the gameplay is muted, so I don't know why it's
Yeah, I don't hear anything. So
yeah. I don't hear anything either.
Yeah, it's crazy. It might be Styx's microphone. He's listening.
Well, he's
upstairs.
on drugs right now. So.
Damn.
Yeah,
He's on
hearing things.
medication. So yeah, he's hearing. It might be the medication he's on right now.
Speaking of Styx, he has a question.
I was gonna go to a chat question. Yeah, shout out to
He's
Styx.
hallucinating.
No, just for audience, right quick. Shout out to Styx. Styx can't be with us right now. He's he's a little under the weather, so he's gonna be in the chat. Shout out to Styx. Styx, you're with us in spirit.
Yes.
Mike
with us in
Gill
spirit.
said that, the echo is there apparently.
Oh, really?
Everyone says they hear it. Okay.
Really? Hear it echo? Oh, no, there we go.
But Styx was asking, last time you were on, you said in River City Girls, you had the rights to use the characters of Billy and Jimmy, but you weren't able to make them playable characters. What is it that changed?
I think it was just that we proposed the idea to Arc System Works. So I mean, again, like we wanted to do DLC on the first game, but we pretty much just rolled directly into planning on the RCG2. With this one, even though we're talking about future games, there was enough of a gap that we could do some DLC. And as usual, it just comes down to me and Bannon saying, who do we want to star? Who's the next playable character? Those are the conversations that got us to Provy and Marion in the last game. And we just really just warmed up to the idea of getting Billy and Jimmy out of the dojo and onto the streets as far as playable. So I think, yeah, we were limited in that regard initially, but since Art controls the rights to all that stuff, we just had to write up a proposal, say, here's what we'd really like to do. We told them that in the US, historically, Double Dragon's always been more popular than the River City ransom games. And so that seems like a good way to introduce new people to RCG2 that have never played it, because I think if you just added DLC that was just existing Kunio-Kun characters, you're kind of playing to the same audience rather than maybe bringing in a bigger audience.
True. It's a good point.
plus we went to Arc System Works and we politely said, please.
Aw.
Yeah.
Marion
And they
is a
said,
badass,
don't do
by
that
the way.
again. Don't ever do that again. You
Safely.
can have the character.
I was just saying, Marion is a badass in that game, by the way.
Oh, she's awesome.
Absolute
Yeah, so
badass.
Marion to me is also one of my, like, I didn't get this when I was younger kind of complaints is, why does every wrestling character have to be the big, slow, heavy one? It's like, why can't she be the boxer and also the wrestler? So she is my boxer and wrestler character smashed together.
I like it.
She's like Super Saiyan 3 Goku
Yeah,
with all that hair
And the abs of steel.
and the abs, legendary abs.
No one's
man.
punching her in the gut ever again.
That backstory had me dying.
I don't know if you've tried parrying. You can parry in the game by hitting block right before an attack, and that will make her block with her abs.
That's
Oh, that's
amazing.
crazy.
You
Oh,
should
wow.
give it a try.
Yeah, I gotta try parry. I gotta
try to block.
Yeah, I just like
Actually.
I've not been parrying very good at all.
Maybe I should try
Yeah,
to
my
block.
parry
That's the
timing
thing.
is
It's like a
trash.
kid playing like Mario Kart. They're never going to hit reverse. They're just going to hit like the gas. And it's like blocking and parrying and these kind of games is like, it's there if you want it, but you don't have to.
I'm gonna try to use it. I'm definitely gonna try to
should.
use
No,
it.
it's a great mechanic, and it should be included in every beat 'em up.
Yeah, I mean, no, they snuffed the shit out of you in this game. So it's like,
Seriously?
so it's like I should block.
Yeah, but there are some things that I put in there because of my love affair with Metal Gear Solid. Is like there's always some like different thing you can do to defeat a boss. When Marion is doing her big like rush at you thing, if you do parry her, that will make her dizzy.
Oh shit!
During
There
that
is, like,
move. Oh,
some
really?
Things in there. Yeah.
Wow, I should have tried that.
I've never been brave.
I
enough.
always run. Yeah,
I'm terrified every time she comes after me.
I'm
so
like,
yeah.
it's like a homing missile. Look at
Yes.
that thing. It's like I'm above her and she still manages to get me. I'm like, great. But shout out on you guys as far as speaking of bosses, you guys really found inventive ways to do boss fights with like every single boss in the game. Because usually in beat 'em ups, you go up to the boss, you start hitting them, but you guys have like different things that happen with the levels, different phases that the bosses go through, and you have to switch up the strategy constantly. Even with the first boss, where he's got like, what is it, the Yakuza? You got the machine gunner guys coming out. You gotta
We got
like go in that.
the shoot like a bullet hell boss. We got a
Exactly.
music rhythm game boss. Yeah, trying to mix it up.
I'm like, there's.
And as I always say when people bring this up, I like to apologize to all the programmers that have to program all this nonsense. So, sorry, guys.
That is hilarious.
No, they're great ideas. They're
well
awesome.
worth it though. Well worth
Yeah.
it.
No, that makes the boss fights a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Rather than
Yeah,
just
but there are
mashing
moments
buttons.
when I'm designing them, I'm like, have I gone too far? And then I ask the programmer, like, how long is this one thing going to take? And they're like, it's like a week. I'm like, yeah, let's
Do
do it.
Just fucking do it. That's the answer. Just
Cowards.
Complainers. But speaking of which, you bring up a very good point. When did you guys decide that you were gonna put the Double Dragons in this game, and how long did it take to How long did it take to develop the Double Dragon? Actually,
So I think when we were talking about the DLC, it was pretty decided that we were going to do them. I know we had talked about other possibilities, like initially for RCG2, we really wanted to get Hasabe and Mami in there, the Mean Girls as playables. I think that would still be at the top of our list. But for DLC, since it was going to be sold as DLC, I think right from the beginning we knew it was going to be the two boys, just because it's a good duo. We knew we wanted two characters. We already had great personalities of them, with Aaron and Danny from Game Grumps doing the voices, and we had those kind of neon redesigns of them. So I think we kind of knew that it was going to be the Lee brothers from the moment we started talking about DLC.
right?
And then you're on a next project now, Bannon. But yeah, do you remember offhand how long it took to put all the DLC together?
I mean, mainly a lot of it came together pretty fast, but a lot of it was having to add in things to make sure that the game would run in a very specific way. What I'm getting at is like, in the original version of River City 2, you could only play as, like, if somebody got to Misako, that's too bad for you. You have to pick another character. But with the Double Dragon characters being DLC, I wanted to make sure it wasn't like you guys, like if all four of you got it, but two of you got to them first. It's like, well, why did I get this DLC? You guys claimed it first. So to do that, if you play the DLC now or the updated game, you'll see that you can now pick characters from a couch. And from there, that's when you can select your different characters, change the color palettes, and then also be able to play as the same characters. That's only for online, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can come in with your level 30 Misako. Your buddy can also come in with this level 30 Misako. You can play that, but now you can pick different color palettes. But stuff like that just wasn't something that was in the game at all. So that's a whole new system of down to, like, that affected the shop scenes. It affected the character select screen. Like, it affected so many different things. It had that snowball effect.
Wow.
And plus, we had to make sure Mark Dacascos and Scott Wolf allowed us to do this.
Wow. That is a process.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Now,
As you know, Scott Wolf is a highly trained martial artist, and we were terrified of him.
As opposed to pretty boy actor Mark Dacascos, right?
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
I can't. Cafe Fox had a question. He wanted to know what it was like working with Grumps, Aaron, and Dan.
They're great. I mean, we worked with, they've been so good to us in playing our games and featuring us. And Aaron has done VO in a lot of our games, just not even related to Game Grumps, but just because he auditioned and he's the perfect guy, and we put him in games a lot. And so, we knew that we wanted a very yin and yang with Billy and Jimmy's personality. They're kind of based off of Neon, but in the River City Girls way, just really amped up in terms of the comedy and the silliness. So we really just have it so that, Jimmy is just super aggro and just always wanting to punch everything. And then Billy, of course, is like practically a Disney princess with all the little birds around him and stuff, and just so zen. And anybody who listens to the Game Grumps knows that that's essentially just Aaron and Danny. They killed it on the original VO for the shopkeepers, but there's only 10 lines. Like every shopkeeper just has like a handful of lines of just like welcome to the store, hey, thanks for buying stuff. And so we really, that was, I think, probably one of the factors of us wanting to do the boys for the DLC, is knowing how good it was going to be with Aaron and Danny voicing it. They were hilarious. The other thing that we did is we talk a lot about, like, we look at the reaction to people as they play the game. We watch them on Twitch, we read the reviews, and that helps us make the game better. One of the things that people commented on River City 2 is that there was a lot of overlapped dialogue between all the different characters where they're kind of just saying the same thing, just with different actors. So we tried to get away from that. So when you play with Billy and Jimmy, their dialogue, they're still saying the same types of lines because it has to fit in, but we're rewriting almost every single one. We're giving them way more specific jokes. We're having them do contextual dialogue when they're meeting a Williams or a Marion or stuff like that. And as Bannon can attest, it was just hilarious. Those guys are so funny in the studio, and just were able to crank out that VO fantastically.
Yep. I was surprised how much dialogue the Dragons had, because I was like, okay, usually when you get DLC after a game releases, I'm like, okay, they're just gonna be, they're not gonna really take place in the story that much. It's gonna be the main characters. But I'm like, oh no, they really have a script. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
and it has to work with the existing script. And so the funniest thing is, like, everybody keeps saying, like, what are you doing here, teenagers? And they're like, hey, we're in our 20s. Like, who are you talking to? And so we had to kind of navigate around the existing script, but we did it as funny as possible. And yeah, every time there was somebody related to the Double Dragon universe, it was fun to like rethink the scene in a way that really played, to the lore and the Easter eggs and that kind of stuff.
That's funny.
And like an idiot, when we recorded Aaron and Danny, like we recorded them, individually. I read alongside with Aaron, and I tried to do every single voice. And after like 5 hours, I could not keep up with Aaron. Aaron has pipes of steel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Now the rap that appears in the trailer, like, how did that come about? Whose decision was to say, you know what, we're gonna promote this DLC, it's gotta be a rap, it's gotta be between the brothers? Like, how did that happen?
That was all Adam rapping, by the way. He was doing impressions of the
just
boys.
really good impression of them.
Yeah.
No, I mean, as a publisher, WayForward, we try and do more vocal songs because it really gets people's attention on the trailers, like, as opposed to when we don't have that. And especially when we can team with some really interesting vocalists. We just had like Mary McGlynn from all the Silent Hill games doing the song on Clock Tower. We got Demon Dice doing the rap on River City Zero. So, looking at all the Starbomb songs by Aaron and Danny, they're all hilarious. They're all video game referential. And so we just asked Aaron, hey, would you guys do a rap? Kind of looking at like what they had done with the Street Fighter one before with Ryu and Ken, which is I think one of their funniest songs. We said, we want something in the vein of this. Aaron wrote all the lines, and Megan McDuffie, who does most of the music for the series, did the music. Wow. And she sings a little bit on it too. And it came out great. And we really didn't give them any direction other than like, hey, do a rap battle between the two brothers. And Aaron just really dove into the lore and was just like looking up every like even stuff where he's like talking about like Billy loving milk and stuff. He gets that from some like character entry and some like obscure write up on the characters and stuff. So it was great. And we were hearing it as it came in, like the rough versions and stuff. We were just completely blown away by it.
That's too much.
It's almost like just from that and their inclusion in the game that like they kind of taken a life of their own to the point where you think, all right, I'm really digging this version of these guys. I would like to see, even though this feels like their game now, but even though it's not, but it feels like it. Is there any hope of seeing the Double Dragons in their own game, this version of them?
I'd love to see it. I mean, we've been talking ever since we finished Neon. We've been talking about, hey, let's do more Double Dragon stuff, even outside of River City Girls. So we've had conversations. I mean, they just had the Gaiden game, and then Arc System Works is working on their own game right now, which is coming out, I believe, early next year. So might have to kind of wait a little bit of time before there's like another opening to do a full game. But I mean, I'd love to see us do a dedicated one, and I think we are definitely creating pretty memorable versions of Billy and Jimmy in this series.
Yeah, because even Neon was before I even got to WayForward, and those characters, like, yeah, they had some character to them, but this is like they had like, oh hey man, kind of like stuff, but it's like these guys are actually like fleshed out versions of those characters.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the Double Dragon Neon, they kind of remind me of Bill and Ted from Bill and Ted. Yeah, it's like, they kinda remind me a little bit.
I if you do join in, I don't know if it happens right away, but if you join into a game, you'll see them do the neon.
Yes, they do the.
They do this, yeah,
they do that.
They do the
The air guitar,
the air guitar. Yeah, it's hilarious.
And that's the thing is, I took inspiration from pretty much any type of appearance that they had, even like the SNK arcade game. Like I was taken from Super Double Dragon on SNES.
Yes.
Whatever I can get my hands on.
Not bad.
Yeah, another thing that I think was really smart that Bannon and the team did is normally we've got kind of rule sets for which characters are speaking by default. You can change it, but it's like if you do a one-player game, then usually the person jumping in replaces Masako because she has less kind of jokey lines, and so it's usually like if you're playing as Kunio, it'll default to Kunio plus Kyoko, but you can swap that out. With this one, we knew that people would really want to see the boys, and so if you play as a single player game and you dive in and you play as Billy, I believe Bannon, right, it creates Jimmy as the other defaulted character for that two Double Dragon duo thing. Yeah.
Interesting. So involved. I was like, that's that type of like how it alters the script, and it's crazy.
No, it's done. It's just done in a way where it just feels like, all right, these. It finally feels like that they're. It's similar to how we feel about the new Battletoads, right? The new Battletoads, the characters are actually fleshed out. You got the voice acting, there's character, there's humor there, and it's like, okay, now they have personality and they're fleshed out characters. I think that's what the Double Dragon DLC feels like. All right, now they're fleshed out, they have personalities, and let's see a full game with this. That's what it feels like this time around.
Well, you want to hear something crazy that I think a lot of people don't even realize. With all the DLC characters, and even going back to like Pruvi and Marion when they swap in, we have to write every single line for them. So if you play through the game, you have the Billy and Jimmy version of the dialogue. I believe if you switch it, and so you make like the other, like, so rather than Billy as player one, you make Jimmy player one, and then make the other guy player two. It's a whole separate set of lines because we have 100% of the dialogue in the game is recorded by Billy from both sides, from like the Masako stand-in and the Kyoko stand-in. So yeah, if you flip who is the first person version, you get completely different
oh my God.
writings and performances and everything. It's still in the same moment, but it's basically like who's cracking the joke on this scene and who's doing the setup.
Wow.
And stuff. That can be flipped depending on who you choose between the two boys.
That's crazy. That's
Styx has a question in the chat. He said he was surprised that the DLC wasn't out for Steam yet. Any word on a release date? And the second part of that is this the final build of the game, or are we still waiting for the Level 857 DLC?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Level 857 DLC? I mean,
Yeah.
let's go.
we saw you got the Mega Rain cameo in there.
Yep,
Very nice.
yep.
Very
I love
nice.
that cameo.
That's a
That
great
cameo
cameo.
is so dope.
Yeah, Bannon drove that. I think that's one of the best songs we've ever had in a WayForward game.
It gets you pumped.
Yeah, great
It gets you
song.
so pumped.
Great song. Very talented.
But yeah, as far as Steam, it's basically it's trickier because Steam is a worldwide platform. Like you really just launch one version of Steam, and since the Japanese version of the game was a little bit behind the US version, that complicates it. It kind of gets it in the middle. But either I don't know if we've announced it yet on social media or if we're about to announce it. I think we're about to announce it, but we'll give a firm release date on the Steam version very soon, like within the next couple of days. It's coming really soon.
Okay.
Nice. Excellent.
And the DLC.
Yeah, 857 DLC, that'll be announced soon too.
Yeah, there you go. You heard it here first.
And Bannon just agreed to direct the Level 857 game. That's what he said in the chat.
I was surprised. Yeah, he knows what he likes.
I thought it was for the Rescue Rangers remake, but yeah.
It's the same thing.
Ooh.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
I deleted that comment.
Oh man.
This is legally binding. I get it. So.
Not to switch gears or anything, gentlemen, but I remember briefly you talked about the other Double Dragon game that's being made by Arc System Works right now, Double Dragon Revive. That has like a more realistic aesthetic. What do you guys think of the direction that game is going, and any footage you see on that? What are your opinions?
It looks cool. I mean, it gave me a real like Street Fighter, like modern Street Fighter 5-6 kind of vibe to like the character designs.
Yeah.
I haven't been hands-on with it. I passed by it. We went to Tokyo Game Show and they were demoing it there. But yeah, it looks interesting. I don't know. What do you think, Bannon?
Yeah, I mean, I really do like it. It's doing something that I've always been interested in, where you can hit people on the Z-axis. So there's like a pile of like, I don't know what it was, like steel pipes and whatever, but I think he did a roundhouse kick and sent them flying backwards into that. So I really do like that. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I mean, they look cool.
Yeah.
It almost gives me Neo Geo vibes.
Neo Geo.
Yeah.
I can see
Like,
that.
are you talking about like King of Fighters kind
Yeah.
of like? Yeah. Everybody's got leather jackets that are too short.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad because it's like when I see it, I'm like, I'm used to seeing Double Dragons like a little bit cartoonier, kind of like in the style you guys have done, done before, and just how they've always been. They lean more to the cartoony side a little bit,
Especially after the last game where they're all super deformed and everything.
Oh, with Gaiden, yeah.
Gaiden, yeah.
Which turned out to be very good. That's a very that ranked very high in our tier list. When I first saw the look at that, I was like, they're all chibi. I don't know about this game, But then we played it, and I was like, this game is awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
game.
I'm of the thought of where it's like, make it like it's been for the past 40 years. It's like, do we need to?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing wrong with switching it up every now and then.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with switching it up. Let's see.
I still remember the hate that I think it was Wind Waker got.
Yeah.
When Zelda Wind Waker, like people were like, "This is an abomination." And then people were
I was
still
one of
like-
those. Yeah, I was one of those who
Yeah,
hated
but
it.
now people are like, "This game holds up. Like the graphics."
I was so on
into this
board.
game."
I was on board for Legend of Zelda Powerpuff Girls from day one. I thought it was amazing.
A lot of game designers were like giving it praise, just from a design aesthetic. They were just like, no, this looks interesting. But then you had people like me who were just like, what are they doing? I was like, oh my.
And it came right after the Space World demo,
Yep.
which is like the most realistic version of Zelda up to that point. So
Yeah,
I think
right.
that played a big part in it. I think Nintendo kind of pulled the rug out from under people who were expecting that version of Zelda to come out next.
Yeah, they gave us Twilight Princess, and we're like, okay, we could forgive them now because they're still making Zelda looking like this. So yeah, it was okay like that. So yeah, well, it was not bad. But I noticed, it's funny too. It's like one cool feature, a big deal feature that was rolled out with this Double Dragon DLC is that you guys officially fleshed out 4-player online co-op, right? Before it was just limited to the 2-player, and I think now it's to the 4-player. But that doesn't include the Switch, though. What kind of challenges, were you doing? Is it really challenging nowadays, I guess, to work with the old Switch? And based on your time working on Switch 2, do you wish that you were able to do a version?
Oh my God!
Why? Why?
What? I had to throw one zinger. I had to throw one zinger.
It's not even a zinger.
This guy.
Oh man.
I pray to the Nintendo gods, old and new, to give us a Switch 2.
Right. But it was just, I guess, the Switch just wasn't powerful enough to do the 4-player online thing. I guess, right? The infrastructure just wasn't there. I guess.
Nintendo gods, old and new.
He's not trying to get attacked.
But you're basically an android. You're a very, very powerful android.
Yeah, you gotta respect the Nintendo gods, man.
I hear you. Definitely.
They'll come
hear
after you. Can't badmouth them.
Yeah, I heard lightning strike the minute.
I hear a knock on the door.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Oh, where's the Bannon?
The Nintendo lawyers / ninjas are
Yeah.
at your door.
The army of lawyers.
All right, I'll
Yeah, I will say the Switch does kind of. I'm not gonna. What words do I say that it doesn't sound bad? It doesn't. It hinders me a bit with some design things of like we have to make sure this is a good experience across every single console.
Mhm.
One can't be like worse than the other one. So there are some things that I had to make some concessions with to make sure it's like, oh, Switch can't do it. It's like trying to make dinner for everybody, and I'm like, well, Switch is allergic to peanuts and gluten, so we got
That's a good analogy. Yeah.
chicken satay. And Switch is like, did I do something bad? No, you're doing good.
That's a great analogy.
That's a great. That's a great analogy.
Nintendo gods, please leave Bannon at peace.
But Dad, I want 60 frames. I know, but the Switch.
Oh,
No, but I like that though. It's like if you can't do 60 on one platform, you give it to the ones that can handle it better. And I like they did that with Microsoft did that with the Xbox, where they were just like they're like no, the S and the X. If you can't do 60 on the S, then you can't get 60 frames with the version that's going to be on the X. And they were just like developers were just like no, like we want to put 60 on this one and 30 on that one, and they just caved eventually. And it's like you have to do that.
They did the same.
We're always
with,
going to try and put the best experience on each console, and as much as possible, we want to max it out on every console. But sometimes you do have to mix it up between them, just based on the limitations of each. But we're always lots of conversations on that, and always planning for the best version possible.
Nope, it's tough. Switch is 2 generations behind now. It's just like it's. I'm surprised it's still getting games. Well. It's the install base.
Contra had that issue where the Switch version was. Remember, it was 30 frames, and then on everything else it was 60.
Yep. Yeah. Everything else because everything else was more powerful. But it was still good. It was a good experience on the Switch still. So it's like.
Speaking of Contra, I caught it in that intro. You keep calling Contra Galaga.
Galuga, right?
Galuga, man.
It's Galuga. I can't. I always. It's like a thing. It's like I call them Michelle's, Melissa's. I mess.
What? Wait,
Sir.
That's a 2 different names.
No, it's just like
Let's unwrap this.
Yes.
if I know someone that's named Michelle.
Did you guys catch the idea behind the subtitle of our Contra game? Because it's called Contra Operation Galuga, and so it's supposed to be a throwback to classic Contra. So Contra: OG.
Oh! I did not know that.
I think that was the director Tom's idea.
I was thinking of Galuga was the island that the first game started on, so you got
that's what
it is. Yeah. But the new game, the one that we just did, is called Contra Operation Galuga. That's the full game.
OG. That's the reason why. It's
Look
like
at that, man. Yeah, that's exactly.
The more you know.
Tom did a hell of a job on that, by the way.
Tom,
he killed that.
Smart guy, very smart guy. He had ideas of a 3D country. He's like, it could work. You were like, no, it can't work. And I was like, it can work. I was like, yes, it can.
No, that was Sticks. Sticks said he couldn't work. I didn't say it couldn't.
You didn't say it.
No, that's
I'm gonna roll the footage.
If it has to do with hate, it sticks.
Oh
I did
man.
one thing on that Contra game. I made the little Gradius little pickup.
Oh, the little. Yes.
That's it.
Right.
That's all.
All right.
I did the thing.
I did.
Yay.
It's more than what I did.
Was Colleen responsible for like when you kill like the Arnold enemies in River City Girls 2 with the arm and they go when they died? She did that voice. Was that her?
Yeah, that was her.
That's hysterical.
Is hilarious.
That's hysterical.
I was like, I think that's Colleen.
Colleen, she's laying on the floor right here. Let me talk to her real quick.
I was like, this game is too funny. It's just.
I was actually in tears recording that voice. Just absolute nonsense.
Excellent.
Adam was in the booth too.
I was. I as much as I love VO, I do not like doing VO cameos. Bannon's much more open to that stuff. But one of the few times I've ever voiced is in River City, because we basically got to the end. We did all the VO in the first game, and it's like, oh crap, we forgot to record the enemies with all of our talented professional voice actors, and so it was myself and Bannon and Colleen and Chris, WayForward staffers, doing them all. So I did the male Yakuza Trash and maybe a few others. You did Schoolboy, the Arnold character, and I forget who else. But we all grabbed like 3 or so different characters.
And then I did the like informational propaganda videos.
You did.
Oh.
Oh, I think you
Oh,
did the
those
you
are
did
funny.
the corrupt cops too.
Yeah, which is just a high pitched Popeye. That's all I would do.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So question. Speaking of voice acting, how does one go about auditioning for voice acting for one of your games?
So it depends on the production. Like Tom Hewlett, we just talked about with Contra, he's kind of got like a different, studio that he uses. But when Bannon and I do it, we tend to use Christina V, voice of Shantae, to do our casting. We'll write up, hey, here's examples of the characters, here's the dialogue. She'll get us auditions, and then we go through, me and Bannon or whoever's the lead on the game, and kind of rate them and pick who gets it. A lot of people think like, oh, you're just, like, especially if we're picking Christina for a role or Aaron for a role, they're like, oh, you're just giving it to your friends for like the main roles. But it's like, no, we go through everyone and listen to it. And I looked up recently on River City Girls 1, we auditioned 100 different actors.
Ooh.
On River City Girls 2, we auditioned over 250 different
Jesus.
actors.
What?
And that
Wow.
one, I mean, Bannon, we were listening to the auditions for like almost a month, I believe, right?
We listened to every single one of them.
Oh my god.
It gets a little maddening because it is the same characters over and
Yeah.
over, but by like, you hear 30 different renditions of this character, the same exact lines and everything.
Oh, wow.
And a lot
Yeah.
of times that's what ends up making the difference. So like a good example is David Lodge, who voices Sabu in the second one. Everybody who read for Sabu just did like a deep, mob boss voice kind of thing. And then he came in with just this weird voice and weird intonation that was just an earwig. We could not, once we heard it, we're like, we don't want to hear anything else. It was just a chore to listen to all the other auditions. So definitely some of the folks that get cast in our games are the ones that just blow us away with like a totally unconventional performance.
That's awesome.
He reminded me of Ian McShane, the guy from John Wick, Deadwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just had like, he wasn't doing the typical, this is the anime deep voice
Yes.
kind of like character. He just did this like, I don't know. And that's the thing, is like, it's kind of weird to say like, they just did this thing differently. But it's always like the moment you hear the voice,
Yeah.
you're like, there it is.
Yeah. And
It's
I
like,
remember,
well, let's
he
listen to the other
it
20
was
though, but
this cadence and this intonation. So he's like, I don't remember the full line, but it was something like with a degree of blah 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 and measure, and like the precision of like the enunciation was just so unique. As far as audition, I mean, the games that I work on and the games Bannon worked on, whenever we're working with Christina,
Mhm.
when we get people hitting us up, they're like, hey, I want to audition. We just send it to her. We're like, hey, here's another person to include in the next opportunity. And again, when we're listening, we might listen to like 50 versions of a character, and we're rating all of them on a scale of 1 to 10, and then we're going back over the highest ones and listening a few more times, and then listening to different versions of the characters with different actors and stuff, and that's how we ultimately get the cast.
yeah,
That's
and
so
like I
awesome.
said before, like I am friends with voice actors and people on the list, and I'm like, sometimes I'll listen to it, I'm like, you didn't get it. Like, it's not, I'm not trying to play favorites at all or anything, and it's like,
Right.
I have to deal with the consequences of not playing favorites later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
we've definitely had characters where it's like we wrote it for a specific actor. It's like, oh, this guy is totally getting this role. I'm writing it in his voice. We made the character look like him, and then some actor we've never heard of comes out of nowhere and just blows us away. It's like, oh,
Wow.
sorry, they snaked the role.
That's
Wow.
awesome. That's got to be fun, though.
Yeah, you got to do what's best for the project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's what it comes down to, man.
Like,
Absolutely.
it's probably like what like Marvel did when they were trying to cast Peter Parker. They had somebody in mind, then Tom Holland comes doing a
Yeah.
flip.
Yeah, in the middle of the audition,
Well,
I'm just like, okay.
Well, like perfect example is the two main characters are Kyoko Masako are played by Kira Buckland and Kaylee Mills. Kira Buckland, super established, had been in like everything under the sun going back many years in anime and games. Kaylee Mills was barely starting out when she auditioned for us, and just two completely different paths, and they were the two that blew us away for those characters.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
No, they're very good. It's like
They have
those-
good chemistry. It doesn't sound like reading lines. It sounds like a genuine conversation that they're having.
Yeah.
Well, part of that is also those are the only two characters we record them together every time so that they have the perfect back and forth.
Oh, well,
In
there it
fact,
goes.
Ah,
Oh, yeah,
oh.
well, there it goes.
when WayForward, when we bought, so we actually have an audio booth now. We bought it a few years ago, and we used it for the last couple projects. We specifically bought a 2-person booth so we could get folks like Kira and Kaylee to record at the same time.
Nice.
That's so cool.
It's pretty smart. It makes a lot of sense.
I like
so.
to take naps in it because it's very quiet.
So anyone out there who wants to audition for a WayForward game, you guys heard what they said.
Yeah, if anybody's an aspiring voice actor, you can just email like pr@wayforward.com or support@wayforward.com. Those messages will make it our way. Now, again, keep in mind, we're going through, hundreds of auditions. And so it is a steep, benchmark as far as like the quality that we're getting from doing such a deep audition. But yeah, honestly, we, for stuff like Billy and Jimmy and the initial thing, I mean, we just said like, okay, these are going to be Aaron and Danny because we know how they sound. That's what we want for the characters. We'll do a lot of like just casting our friends for the minor roles, but anybody that's a major player or a major boss, we're casting with zero focus on who the actors are, just purely the performance.
Yeah, and the advice that I always give people, and like I did take a couple voice acting classes, and the teacher was like, just because you have a good voice doesn't mean you are a good voice actor. Like people forget the acting part of voice acting.
Yeah.
Like it isn't just like I'm doing a voice. It's like you have to act as well.
Right.
Like there's emotion to bring to this as well.
Interesting.
So would you recommend acting classes then for somebody that wants to get into voice
Yeah, I
acting?
mean it is acting. It
Okay.
just so happens like even in the booth, like you would look like a straight up psychopath if you weren't acting and saying all these lines. Like you're just
That's true.
standing there, just saying these lines instead of like saying these lines. Like
Gotcha.
What I'll say is the ones that make it. So we give them usually per audition, it's about like 5 or 6 lines. It's specifically like there's a dramatic line, there's a funny line. Like we put in things where it's testing their ability to do different things. But I would say almost 100%, I think Bannon would agree, the ones that get cast are the ones where they add something we didn't even expect. It's just like, oh, we didn't even have a joke there, but the way they said that word, the way they took that pause, it's always the ones that surprise us that end up getting the roles.
That's awesome.
yeah, for me as well, especially for something like this, is some people came in like when you hear the same like I'm the anime protagonist voice, like when you hear that like 30 times in a row, it does get a little deflating, going like somebody's got to try something different. And when they finally do, it just like the clouds open up and they're just like doing this voice. You're like, can you come down from the clouds and
That's
get
awesome.
into the quiet booth that I take naps in?
Shoot your shot, people. Shoot your shot.
I'm trying to remember who was the actress who did the voice. I think it was like maybe the second boss, the chick who makes fun of the fashion of Misako and Kyoko.
Oh, that's my old roommate, Mary.
Oh, she murders that. I couldn't stop laughing at how she was pronouncing shit. I was like, yo, this is fucking hysterical. Like she just, it's just her delivery was just crazy.
Yeah, that was another voice I tried to do while I was recording her there, and I was like, "What am I doing?"
You tried to do that voice? That's amazing.
Oh, you're talking about Suiko here. I thought you were talking about the fashion boss in the first game. No, this is Suiko. This is Brianna Knickerbocker.
Yeah, not her.
This
The
was
one, the one that's floating. The
The
boss
spider one, yeah.
battle.
Okay,
hold on a second.
I mean, I guess we have 2 bosses that make fun of your fashion. But no, that is Mary Hansen. That is my old roommate, old coworker over at WayForward. And once again, like she did a voice. I'm like, that didn't sound like the 30 other female protagonists or antagonist voices that I've had to listen to. It's like,
Even compared to the
sounds
rest of the game, like Mary's voice for that, it always felt it's like more like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Like she always felt like our like Batmite character or Great Gazoo or whatever. It's just like everybody else in the cast is like kind of doing the anime thing, and Mary's feels very almost like Looney Tunes-ish. It's such a weird character.
Her delivery was crazy. I was laughing over all of her lines. It was ridiculous. She did a crazy job on that.
No, the entire script is just silly. It's just like it's just too funny.
I may have to audition
There
That's
you
out.
go.
to be a mid boss.
Yeah, yeah. You're embracing it now. There we go. He's embracing the mid-boss role. There we
It's a
go.
little inside joke because I'm I'm a pretty big wrestling fan, and since The Rock came back for WrestleMania, I immediately bought his Final Boss T-shirt and I wore it on one of the podcasts. And 10 seconds into that podcast, Cafe Fox said, "Oh, look at Choc. It's Choc, the mid boss." I was like, "Oh man!"
said
And
you're
they
more-
never let go of it.
He's more of like a mid-boss.
They
like,
never let go. And on top of that, me and Al were playing Vengeance Hunters
Oh, God.
2 weeks ago, and there was a character who appeared to be a mid boss who
Yeah.
looked kind of like me.
Kind of like you.
Yeah, that
Dude,
was-
that was you, man. That was all you. And you
No.
even admitted it.
I was like, that's Choc. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What T-shirt is that?
I'm wearing a shirt for you then.
that is.
The chair wrestling champ 87.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yes.
fellow wrestling fan.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Mid-boss is
Wait.
perfect, dude.
Did I ever even talk to you that I used to train as a wrestler?
No.
I don't
Don't
think so.
think
No, that's
so.
Yeah, that's why all
What?
the River City Girls games have wrestling moves. That's why there's like the Stone Cold Stunner, Power Bomb, German
Oh,
suplex.
That's
dope.
wow.
Wait, hold on.
Never knew that.
I mean, Provy has like the Code Breaker. Like, there's
Yeah.
I'm booking the match.
You're booking the match.
Bannon versus Top Hat Gaming, man.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Let's
Yeah,
Here it
this
is.
is something I've even talked to Jonathan Holmes before, Adam. Each like PAX, I've always wanted to do a wrestling show that is nothing but game developers or game people wrestling each other. I
That
even
would be
took
so
my friend Sandy, who's one of the lead animators at Yacht Club. Like 3 weeks ago, I taught him how to do front bumps and like the flips and stuff like that. I showed him how to do suplexes. So yes, wrestling. I'm a big fan.
That's a
Wow.
That's so cool.
You were auditioning for the WWE? Or
No.
no? Okay.
What the hell?
I had
I
thrown
almost,
out
I almost broke my neck doing a sunset flip
Ooh.
because my partner threw themselves backwards and I was laying there on the floor with like a crunched up neck. I'm like, I gotta draw shit. What am I
man.
doing?
Oh.
So no.
Ouch.
This shit is dangerous.
Yeah, it really is.
Let me
It
stop.
really is.
It is.
Especially if you mess up a move, man.
Oh, God.
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's gotta hurt.
So dangerous.
People
dude.
go in the
It does
hospital.
hurt.
Oh,
A lot.
terrible. That's funny. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
That's so cool.
Now, as far as I think you guys were given a little bit of a hint earlier. There might be more DLC, or is this kind of like? What do you think?
So we're already talking about the next full-on game, and we've got a bunch of stuff we're planning for that, figuring out plot and characters and stuff. But River City's been real good for WayForward and for Arc System Works, so we're going to do more of them.
Oh wow.
However, that doesn't necessarily mean that we wouldn't do a DLC in between. So whether the next thing you see from us is another full-on game, River City Girls 3 or something else, or whether we get some more DLC in between then, probably depends on how well this does. Like if people really show up for this and gets a lot of attention, sells well, gets a lot of like streams, then yeah, absolutely. We've already talked about the possibility of other characters that could show up as another DLC for RCG2.
Wow, a sequel. River City Girls 2 though is setting a very high bar.
Guys, get your wallets out.
It's a
Vote with your wallets.
Buy
Yes.
the game, buy the DLC.
Yes.
So you
You want
guys
more?
already have ideas how to improve the formula already. That wow, okay. Because I think I'm like when I play it, sometimes I'm like, what could they possibly do to make this better?
6 players.
You know,
He's
I-
six players.
Yeah.
Fuck
No, and I already
Sorry.
think I think the River City Girls series is better than the mainline River City Ransom series. You know, like I think it's like I like the art so much better in River City Girls.
Oh, thank you.
The
Yeah.
hits.
I'm very glad you like a game that's our game that's not a 40-year-old game that was on
Well, no, I'll tell you, they
that
made
was a bold choice of yours.
no, but you gotta give them credit though. They came out recently. Arc System Works came out with River City. Was it Kingdom?
Yeah, they do the Kingdoms games where it's
The
like
Kingdom games?
stage
Yeah.
play.
They came out with the River City. What was it the game that came out for the 3DS, which I think is a remake of
Yep.
the first game or whatever, and that's pretty good. They come out with newer River
Oh, yeah.
City Ransom games that are still good, but I'm like, River City Girls is better though. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
just,
and we actually like that was kind of a thing because when we were working on the first game, that's when they were coming out with Melee and Melee Mock which are kind of like the Smash Brothers-y kind of like brawler type games, but
Yeah.
all of them, including the latest Kingdoms game, they all still kind of use the old NES sprites for the gameplay.
Mhm.
And that was a major reason why we went in a different direction, is we didn't want anyone to be confused. Like, we're the ones selling River City Girls. We're trying to, this is the first time WayForward worked with that brand. So
Yeah.
we didn't want anybody to say, oh, I think I already played that one on PS2 or something. We wanted it to like really feel like something different. So that's why, 40 years later, they're still basically using those NES sprites or versions of them.
Mhm.
That's part of the reason we threw that away, went for an all new visual style with the backgrounds and with the sprites and with the VFX and everything, because we wanted it to be just unmistakable so that people would say, oh, that's something completely new.
Yeah. And I think you guys accomplished that too, definitely.
You know, I think people really, really want to know
Mhm.
is that WayForward does such an amazing job with all the beat 'em ups and all the you got your Contra coming back, even though that's not a beat 'em up, but you got Contra coming back and you got River City Girls. When is WayForward going to do X-Men 97? Come on, when is that going to happen?
Uh-oh.
When is that going to happen? We
Ooh.
need
So
that.
I really want us to do an X-Men game. It's funny because everybody who watches X-Men 97, especially all the ladies, are super into Gambit. And my friend AJ Lacazio is the voice of Gambit. And I got to talk with him a little bit at Comic-Con. We hooked up and chatted a little bit. But
Wow.
that would be my dream. I would love to have us do a new X-Men brawler game like the old arcade one, based on what they're doing with X-Men 97.
Ooh,
Get
that would
AJ
be
in there as
cool.
Gambit.
Oh.
That's something that I've tried to poke at that a little bit. I don't know. Fingers crossed that getting WayForward to do our spin on like an X-Men thing, I think would be like
That'd
top
be crazy.
tier.
Come on.
Oh.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I could swear I saw Bannon smirk a little bit when we mentioned
No,
97.
so it reminded me of how my designer brain works. Is the last time I even saw the X-Men arcade game, I looked it up on YouTube just to see, like, nostalgic, whatever. And it was one guy, he had a mod where he was playing as all four characters. Like, it was, they moved in sync, in unison. And it got me thinking of like a game like that, to where you are playing as all four characters, but this is just how my brain works. So you can see the process. Is this would have been all four characters right here. Like, this is the top character, the bottom character, back character, but then you can actually cycle through them like this. So you could switch who does, like, who's in front, and it changes up their attacks. Like, put in the guy that does, like, if you're doing Gambit, he's in the front, he would be using his cane. But if you switch him to the back, he'd be throwing cards. So you kind of like switch it up. But yeah, there is some gameplay footage of a guy moving like in a kind of like diamond shape with everybody.
We kind of got to do a
So
little
that's
bit
what I
of
was
that.
smirking about. I was just
Yeah.
designing in my head.
We got to do not exactly that, but a little bit of kind of the flavor of that. So the first game I directed at WayForward was X-Men. It was called X-Men, the official game on Game Boy Advance. It was like the tie-in for the third movie, and that's what it was. It was a single player game. You would get Wolverine, Iceman, Colossus, and Nightcrawler, and you're switching between them on the fly. So you would do stuff mid-attack where it's like you could jump up, break through something as Colossus, and then before you land, switch out to Nightcrawler and bamp through a wall or something like that. And it's really fun. Like the game itself is, hit and miss. I'm still learning my ropes as a director at that point, so it's not the best game I've done. But in terms of the characters, it was really fun, and I think we, very much inspired by the Genesis game, I think we nailed the Nightcrawler bamfing. Running through and speed running and just pop, 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 going through the walls and floors with him is so fun in that game.
That's dope.
Oh man,
That would be a dream come true right there.
yeah,
Imagine.
yeah,
And these are the guys for the job.
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want Superman in a game. He's part of the X-Men, right, guys?
I mean,
That's Superman, Batman.
Yeah, let me look
Wow.
this up real quick.
G.I. Joe, Optimus Prime.
oh yeah, word.
Jack Reacher, I think he's in.
He's a new one, relatively new.
He's a new member of the Avengers.
Actually,
Yeah.
I would leave Transformers with them too. I would trust them with Transformers.
I can't.
We
think of
did
an
one.
IP that I
So
wouldn't
we
leave with
did
them.
one on 3DS. If you look up Rise of the Dark Spark, and it was kind of cool because it was like it's a hybrid game. It has top-down strategy, almost Advanced Wars style like strategy movement with the pixel versions.
That's
But then when you actually fight, it goes to full 3D, and we were very inspired by Pacific Rim just came out. Yeah, so it's like, it's very low res, but you're basically doing Rock'em Stock'em style, like beat 'em up in 3D, and then in the mission stuff you would go down to like the top down pixel stuff. But that was a fun one as well.
Yeah, I think that was the one that got praised. I think there was a rise of the Dark Spark or something that came out for the 3D. Was it Xbox 360 maybe at the time?
Yeah.
And that was like the one that got panned. Yours was it was a totally different take on what they were doing with the shooter. So yeah.
Well, for the longest time, that was WayForward. Like WayForward was known as like, we're the ones that'll do the handheld version, and it usually outscored the console version. That because we only started doing consoles around like Boy and His Blob and Batman on Nintendo Wii. Before then, we were almost all GBA and stuff like that. But yeah, consistently, you look up like any old GBA WayForward game, it's like, oh, the console got like a 6 out of 10, but hey, the GBA one got like an 8 out of 10. We would always like outscore the Big Brother games.
Wow.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, they look better. They look better than the game that came. The other games that came on the console. Sometimes that's crazy.
Yeah. We always tried.
Now, was there anything, guys, about before you got into game development? Actually, let me reverse the question. Was there anything about being a game developer that made you feel like, that was a surprise that you didn't expect when you were, going back to when you were simply gamers? Then you went into game development. It's like, I didn't know things were like this. Was there anything that bummed you out about developing games?
I mean, the things that didn't bum me out was I was a waiter, so I don't remember the last time I had to hear, "Can I talk to your manager?" Long ass time. So that's my takeaway.
Not bad.
Yeah, I started as an animator at WayForward and then kind of worked my way up to director. I think nothing really that bums you out, but I think what people don't realize is everything within a game has to be decided. And at WayForward, it's usually the directors like Bannon. So it's like, yeah, he's doing the combat, but he's also doing like, what do the little objects in the health meter do? And when you're in a menu, what are the prompts for pressing buttons to go from one thing to another? And what are the sound options? Like it's all of like the, thousands and thousands of micro decisions. All those need to get individually planned and drawn and implemented. And then, directors like Bannon they're giving feedback on how a spin kick works, but they're also giving feedback on how a slider looks when it moves for animating an audio level or something like that. So there's just like thousands of like little micro things that you have to do to get to a finished game that I think people don't think of as much as like being a big part of the director's part on a game.
Yeah, no kidding. Like all those accessibility options and all that. Jesus.
You know who's good at
like
that?
Even just like the way the phone came in and the way it flips around, like all of that is like individual stuff that Bannon and his team are making decisions on.
Yeah, even if you look at your computer screen right now, I see like, when you go to the bottom of your screen with your mouse, like, do you have it slide up? Does it appear? Does it come from this side? When you highlight, like I'm highlighting Steam, it shows a quick little sample of what you're about to do, but then it also highlights that kind of button right there in a square around the icon itself. It's like all that kind of stuff, like that has to be decided. There is also, I can see now that like I can hit the X on the Steam thing to get rid of that, but it closes the Steam over here. It's like all that stuff has to be decided. Like Adam says, nothing can just be left to chance or whatever. Like, oh, Unity or Unreal will handle it. It's like, no, you
it
have
just doesn't
to
get done
figure
otherwise.
everything out.
Yeah. And even stuff like I remember a huge conversation on the first game was hit stops. So it's like when you punch a guy, are you freezing it? How many frames are you freezing it for? Are you just freezing me? Are you freezing other people? Are you freezing the screen? All those little micro decisions that the average gamer probably doesn't even think about is people like Bannon like very meticulously trying different values and different approaches to that stuff to get it feeling just right.
Wow.
0.20 of a second.
0.20th of a second. Wow, it's involved. Yeah, when you see it, you play a game, we see things go on the screen. It's like every little particle, the hits. It's insane. It's insane.
Gamers today are like, no, we want what we want. We don't care how hard it is. I don't care how hard it is to make it. Just make the game. That's today's game.
much.
run it through the online thing. Make it work online.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoehorn it in.
Oh yeah, actually,
Is
so
that the word?
that's probably the best answer to your question. That is the toughest thing. So whatever you do when you're making a game, as soon as you say, "Hey, let's make the game online," which we didn't have on the first one, we added on the second thing. Suddenly, everything takes twice as much work, twice as much finessing. As soon as you have online communications, it's a whole other beast versus a local game.
Jeez. Oh man, it's
a lot.
It's not easy.
It's a lot.
It's not easy,
I
but
thought Turbo was going to ask, hey, can't you just hit a switch? And
just like-
and
Can't
go
you
on?
just put it in? Just
Can't you have Chat GPT just do this for you? Like,
Come
what's the problem?
I mean, that would be amazing. I would love that.
Right?
If somebody does know that button where it's at in Unity, I'll open it up right now. You can look into this.
nah, it's good that you guys got 4-player online in there because I think Streets of Rage 4 stopped at the 2-player online, which was cool. You know, it's
Yeah,
a
I
hard.
talked to Ben about that, and they were struggling. They're like, "Yeah, we just could not." Ben Fuqua, the guy that is the main artist and lead of that, but he's like, "Yeah, we just couldn't get it to work." And he's like, I mean, you know, in a French accent, he's like, "Oh, don't do it, Bannon, don't do it." But I mean, we eventually got there, so.
That's crazy.
Nice.
That is crazy. Well, yeah, and it plays very good too. We only played 2 so far, but we're gonna get the 4-player online. I want to see what that goes.
And I don't know if when you play it online as well, and this is for people in the chat as well, if you haven't played River City Girls, you do not share the screen together. So I didn't want to confine everybody together in one screen. I wanted you to I'm going to go over here and have my own little adventure. You can go do that. It's not like a typical move left to right kind of thing. Play online and you can be a jerk, and like me, I grab a weapon and I jump up and I throw it, and I know, and then I wait for a friend on their side of things go, "Who threw that?" And just came flying in from an entire distance of a screen, and just don't. No.
That is pretty cool though. Yeah, that's the same type of online that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 has. When you play it online, it's like they're not confined to the screen.
They can roam around.
Right.
They can roam around.
Oh,
a bit,
Sticks
yeah.
will love that because he likes to leave people.
He likes to do. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
perfect for Sticks.
He likes to
You
desert
guys,
us.
you guys should play Baldur's Gate 3. That's the worst
Yeah,
example of that.
even when you're transitioning between locations, we didn't want it to be one of those frustrating experience where you're mid punch and then suddenly you get yanked out of it. So that's why we have stuff where it's one player leaves and then there's a little countdown, and then it's like, hey, hurry up, finish up what you're doing and get over here. And if it times out, it warps everybody. But you have time, and you actually, the guy who left can say, oh, never mind, they can cancel back out of it without warping out. So we're always looking for little stuff like that with the doors and transitions and stuff to make it so that there's no frustration, so that no matter how people are playing the game, they're all enjoying it, and nobody's saying if they only fix this one stupid annoying thing in the game.
A lot of thought goes into this.
Absolutely.
Crazy. Yeah, I got one of the last questions for you guys, I think, on my list. Double Dragon movie, what'd you guys think of that? They come with it. It's
Nice question.
That's not the last question. I'll tell you that much.
First of all, are you trying to get them in trouble with Scott Wolf?
Yeah.
Stop it.
No, it's because they you could tell just by the way the characters are done. The River City Girls too. Double Dragons are done. They done their homework. Moves like the uppercuts, the knees. The knee is done very well. I love the way you can just snap the knee out of nowhere.
And it has nothing to do with the movie.
No, it has nothing.
So,
But
yeah.
I was like, I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I wanted to know where they draw the line of what is great about Double Dragon, what to include with the character, and what to just leave on the chopping board. There was nothing about the movie that you wanted to include, or it's like,
Well, so
Marion-
it's interesting, really quick. It's interesting that you guys mentioned the movie because
We're gonna reveal right now.
yeah. Bannon and I are going to be watching the movie on stream tomorrow.
Yeah, we
Believe
were
it or
actually going to
not,
do that.
I don't know how this happened as a child of the 80s. I'm completely just a horrible person.
Oh.
I've never seen the Double Dragon
Oh,
movies.
dear God.
It's okay.
Neither have I.
It's okay.
Neither have I.
Oh, you never saw it
I've
either?
never seen it either. No.
I saw it in theaters.
Oh my God.
saw
I
it
didn't see it in theaters, but I did see it on TV.
I didn't see the whole. I couldn't watch the whole thing. thing, but I've seen. Yeah,
I
Mm.
somehow missed it, so it's gonna be Virgin. I mean, I've seen all the pictures of everything, and I've seen all the
Mhm.
gifs and stuff, but I've never watched the movie. So me and Bannon tomorrow, it's gonna be the first time I've ever watched it.
Oh,
Gonna
man.
make you
You're in
cry.
for a treat.
Oh, man.
it's gonna be
It's,
great. You guys should stream that live.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he said that they're gonna
Oh,
watch
yeah,
it on
yeah.
stream.
You're gonna watch
Yeah.
it live on stream. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I'm gonna
Yeah.
chime
dear
in.
God.
I
Yeah,
gotta
look
see
for
some of that.
WayForward. Go on. I think it's already been announced. So just look at like our WayForward stuff, and then yeah, I mean, but as far as like the lore stuff, absolutely. I mean, for the story stuff, we're looking at everything that came before, and then for the moves, for the combat, like we're really doing deep dives on every game whenever we do any of the WayForward stuff to just mine everything and see what we can put in there that people like as a callback.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, and I think I kind of talked about it earlier. There was no game that was like safe from me. I would pull from every single Double Dragon game that I could, but there are some moves that, like Masako already does the hopping knee. Like,
Yeah.
she already does that, and that is Double Dragon. Like that's exactly where I took that.
That was actually, I believe, aside from the basic punch combo, that was the first special attack we did in the very first demo for the game, right? That was the first thing we put in other than the punch combo.
Wow.
Remember?
Well,
Is that-
that is her heavy attack. That's her
Yeah.
forward heavy attack.
Exactly.
But yeah, that I forget.
Yeah,
which
the
one
very
was.
first playable build that we did once we started production of the first game, we had the knee attack in there, and I remember very specifically, it's like you got to pull the sound effect from the Double Dragon game. You got
Yes.
to have this in there. So
yes.
it's always been part of the DNA.
Great.
Yeah, there is a version out there, that prototype, where it was just my pixels in there, like really sloppy versions of like Masako. So Masako, to me, is the Ryu of the game. That she was like the very first like character we did, and everything was like built off of her. If we didn't fill in a certain animation, that like Kyoko would suddenly turn into Masako. It just like
Yeah, there's lots of little Easter egg stuff too. Like when the girls get hit, they have, correct me if I'm wrong, Bannon, they have 3 different get hits, and those expressions are a 1-to-1 with the original River City Ransom get hits.
so. That's for Kunio, because it
Yeah.
was Kunio's exact face. Like, even though he is, I think like twice as tall as the normal like Kunio-Kun version, but Kunio himself, the head is still the same size. So that's when Kay just straight up copy and pasted those like goofy ass faces and put it on Kunio.
That's great.
That's dope. I got one last question.
Uh-huh.
What could we expect from WayForward in the future? Like, what projects are you guys working on? What can you say about what you're working on? Should the fans of WayForward be excited for the future?
Video games.
They're making games.
Let's wrap it up.
So definitely we're working on some of the best brands we've ever gotten to work on. We're working on stuff that's really popular cartoons, that's classic gaming brands, that's like cool anime brands. It's some of the favorite stuff that we've ever gotten to work on, including Bannon's project that he's directing right now, not related to River City Girls, one of our favorite brands out there. We've been trying to work on this particular brand for like at least like 5+ years going back.
Oh, that's exciting.
Wow.
The only thing I'll mention is, we always have like around like 5 or 6 directors at any time doing different projects. A lot of them are aligning now where it's like they're kind of at the beginning. So we're doing a lot of games where they're just getting started now. So I think 2025 is going to be a little light for WayForward. We've got the console version of Shantae Advance coming out, and we're working on porting Sigma Star Saga, our old GBA game. Both of those are coming out next year, but I think most of the stuff we're working on right now is going to be coming either in the back half of 2025 or into 2026. But yeah, it's some of our best stuff, and we do what we do. So it's like, they're brawlers and action games and platformers. Like it's the stuff that people come to want from us as much as, I'd love to have some visual novels and dating sims and shmups and stuff like that. The stuff we're working on right now is like classic core WayForward.
Awesome.
That's exciting.
All right.
And I heard the Level 857 beat 'em up's coming out 2027.
Let's do it, man. Yo, let me
That one's coming out soon. Yeah.
2027. I mean, we could wait. We could wait.
Yeah.
Yo, I'll be an NPC in River City 3. I'll be, or something. I'll get kicked out of a club or something. That'd be great.
We'll voice ourselves. It'll
Bannon
be
can
easy.
make that happen. Bannon
Hey,
is the cameo guy for whatever we work
Oh, I
on
love
next.
that.
River
Yes.
City related.
And guys,
You think you have what it takes to be an NPC?
Yes, of course.
Look at that.
course.
No, we have experience.
Come on.
We have experience.
We have experience, damn it.
We have experience being non-playable characters.
yes, we're in the arena in Retromania Wrestling. We're in one of the background arenas. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think one of us is drinking, right? I
Wait,
forgot which one of us
do
is
you guys
drinking.
like wrestling?
Yeah, of course.
Sure, we do.
Huh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, guys, the Switch 2 dev kits, like you guys have
Oh
to.
my god.
Should we be excited? Should we be excited? You know?
Well, let me tell you, but just
There we go.
between us.
There we are.
There we go.
Nice.
Oh man. Where are we at? Are we in this one? Are we
Dude,
back-
we're right there, dude.
Oh, there we go. We're right there. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You don't recognize my
Don't
drugged
recognize
out-
yourself,
We're
man.
right there. It's right there in the left corner.
No, he's cut off.
That is something Bannon said a lot. Is
There we
the
go.
Kunio-Kun series has so many sports titles, and that's
true.
consistently for the last 5 years been at the top of his list. I know is working on something like that, working on a River City dodgeball game or basketball or wrestling or whatever, but doing something where it's not just putting in some of those elements, but it's a full sports game.
Yeah.
I think that's something we'll get to eventually. We've had conversations with Ark about that. Bannon's always said that he'd love to do something like that. So fingers crossed.
Something like a Mario Tennis.
I like,
you
the,
know,
I like
River
the,
City
the
tennis.
River City volleyball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
V-Spike.
V-Spike.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
dope.
Double Dragon's
Yeah,
one?
that was
Yeah.
dope back in the
That
And
was a-
that's the thing is, I'm not a sports guy at all, except for like sports entertainment. But it's like if you do take a sports title and add something to it, that's when I'm interested.
Yeah.
Like NBA Street Volume 2 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Mm.
But if it was just a 3-on-3 basketball game, I would not care whatsoever.
Well, you look at that first dodgeball game for Kunio-Kun, which was the second game ever. They did Renegade and then they did dodgeball on NES, and so much of what's in that game informed like modern sports games. Like you see the DNA of like NBA Jam and like later titles in there with just how characters are exploding and landing and dying and crashing. It's all just like really over the top. That sort of stuff is, and we have so many of those elements within the game. Like for example, this was the game where there you go, little angel goes up
He
and they
died.
die.
He died.
That's why you do that in River City Girls when you die is taken
Yep.
from these things. So
That's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a vicious volleyball game right there. He died.
oh yeah, high stakes.
Yeah.
Oh well.
That's how I lost my little brother. I couldn't even revive him. I just looked at a little angel for him. I was like, oh.
At least he
Then
went
it
to
got
heaven.
really existential. I was like, oh, there is a heaven. Oh.
Yeah.
It is
And the medic is screaming at Bannon, "Why are you not kicking him?"
Oh.
It is a very tense thing trying to revive somebody in River City Girls. I'm like, you gotta get position right, and the angel flies kind of quick, so it's like you gotta get the kicks in.
I haven't really
There's
had problem with it.
accessories to help you with that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
I gotta look out for that.
Well, you need them
Oh,
because you always leave me to die.
I've been getting
So
better.
you need them.
Stop
yeah,
dying.
actually, and that speaking of accessories, so real quick, we haven't talked much about it. The DLC you can get, it has Billy Jimmy Lee. It's got a bunch of other stuff too. One of them is, which is something I really wanted to get in the game for a long time, going back to the first game, is we have our seasonal shop, kind of like a Spirit Halloween meets the
Oh.
seasonal stuff in Animal Crossing. So we've got a new shopkeeper, Miho. She's voiced by Jaden Animations, and she changes every 2 months. It changes, so now it's kind of Christmassy, now it's kind of Halloween, and
Oh.
there's a unique accessory you can only get if you play the game during those 2 months. And Bannon, you went pretty wild with those. They're not just stat boosts; a lot of them kind of really change how you play the game.
Yeah,
right?
like right now, the witch's hat is and that is for the next actual like 10 days until it switches into winter day, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, it is witch's hat. If you wear this thing, the last person alive on the screen will beg for mercy. So this is a great way of, if you're trying to capture all the recruits,
Yeah.
just make sure somebody is alive and they will immediately start begging for their life, and then you can grab them.
Yeah, it doesn't wait for their health to get down. It doesn't be a dice
they just
roll or
beg.
anything. It forces them into the begging.
Oh,
Yeah, and I
really?
know like, I
Nice.
think Winter Day, I forget what the thing is. I think it's like mittens. It has something to do with freezing or something like that. I forget exactly what it does because it's been a while, and I have to wait until the thing comes out anyhow. So
We gotta look for that shop.
So we got
oh,
that.
the shop, just for everybody, when you start the game, you leave Kyoko's house. It's to the right. It's one of the first things you see.
Okay.
Yeah, so the stuff you get in the DLC, there's some of it you get for free, some of it, just in the update, some you get in the DLC, but you get playable Billy and Jimmy Lee. You get the brand new story intro that shows how they get out of the dojo. You get all the dialogue, all the story alt stuff. You get the rap. The rap song plays in game. Bannon actually added the auto shop where Marion always gets punched in front of in the gut. That's now in the game. You can go in there, you can listen to the rap and practice. We have the seasonal shop with the exclusive items. The boys, since they're not in the dojo anymore, we got the fourth final of Bobo Bro, the one that looks like Danny Trejo. We talked at one point, we're like, could we get him? Maybe we should look into getting him, but we get Patrick Seitz voicing him. But he's there as the new dojo master. We've got the color palette options. And then we've also got Rem, who does all of the character designs for the whole series. She's got a comic called Devil's Candy, and those characters also appear in a new unique shop as well. So lots of really good stuff. We really wanted to make this pretty packed as far as all the stuff that you get. New achievements, really just put as much stuff in here as possible to get people to get the DLC and come back and enjoy the game if they haven't before.
Yeah. And there are like little things that I did because whatever I needed to tweak things on my end, but I did like tweak some of the like buff some things. Like Marion couldn't grab enemies out of the air when she knocked them up. She can now do her command grab before enemies like hit the ground, so you can snatch them out of the air. So just like little refinements like that as well. But yeah, the Devil's Candy shop is in Uptown. So the first shop that you see Seasoned Beatings, that's right outside of Kyoko's house, and then Uptown outdoor cafe area is where you can find Devil's Candy. And that's a store where I wanted to make sure it didn't mess up any stat things, but like there's zombie salve that is like, it's all like, I don't know, horror-based medicinal items, but when you use the zombie thing, you do have a friendly zombie that comes out of the ground and like follows you around now.
That's every kid's dream, a pet zombie.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's too funny. It's just this game is hilarious.
I would make a pet zombie come up and I would be like, can you hug me because my dad never did.
Damn.
We'll end on that up now.
That's hilarious.
Would you
And
guys
the
ever
zombie's like, I don't really know you.
I gotta get that zombie. We gotta
Sorry.
get that item.
I want
we
to
have
see that.
one last question from the chat. Would you guys ever consider making an RPG?
I mean, there's elements. If you look at like River City, it is an RPG. It's got stats and stat boosting and accessories and items, and the items have like the single use and then the permanent affectation. So like we've done stuff like that. I mean, as far as traditional RPG,
That sounded like a very political answer.
yeah, well, we dabbled a little bit. Like our Silent Hill game, we did the Weird Vita one. That was a full-on RPG, like multiplayer dungeon crawler Diablo type thing. I don't know if we'd ever do like a JRPG type game. I guess it depends if the opportunity came along. We're kind of grooving in our niche of like brawlers and platformers and stuff like that. But yeah, never say never. I mean, we'd be down for doing anything that our teams would get excited about and the fans want to see from WayForward.
Yeah, and I don't know what I don't know if I'm out of touch with the RPG I don't know scene right now, but it's like, do people even like turn-based games? Do they like the real-time thing? Is it like Final Fantasy to where it's like, no, I want to be running around and doing the combat myself, and like the RPG elements are so light now. It is almost like playing a Devil May Cry game with like some commanding of your party. Like I don't know what is popular with like RPG players now and what they need. Like even I forget what game it was. It might have been the latest Mario one where like you can parry, you can block, but it's all about timing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I
Well,
know
like
they put
that
that
when they did the
original
remake of Final Fantasy VII, it got way more real time, right?
Yes,
than
yes,
Yeah.
But
So
I would say Xenoblade Chronicles does very, very well. That's Nintendo's own Monolith Soft's. That's their RPG, JRPG. It's like kind of real time. Positioning is important. It feels like it's it feels turn based and real time. It's got elements of both, but it's not quite both. So something in between that is, I think, people have an appetite for. You know,
Yeah,
especially
like would people even enjoy like random encounters anymore? Or is it like, no, I see the thing, I do want to fight the thing, or it's like, how did this thing just come out of nowhere and start attacking
I think
me?
it would. I think their type would work more with like a Sea of Stars.
probably Sea of Stars.
Sea of
maybe,
Stars would work.
Like an
I can see that working.
Octopath Traveler is very traditional. You know, that's the HD 2D, very traditional turn-based. That's like a modern turn-based game. It has an excellent combat system too. So I think people have an appetite for that too.
Yeah.
For that, I think that mold still holds up a bit. You know, you got Square Enix just released Dragon Quest 3 remake, and that's as old school as you can get. You know, so I hope it does well. Dragon Quest. They don't change, you know, and they're very, very turn-based. So I think people have appetite for those types still.
I played.
Yeah, we'd do any of this stuff. We would do turn-based. There's a lot of Choc. Like we would love to do something kind of like Dynasty Warriors or Onichembara, like we're just killing hundreds of enemies. I could see us doing that. Another genre we'd love to do is something where it's an arena 3D brawler like Power Stone. There aren't enough of those. And then of course just like the lots of conversation recently of like just can we do something that's a 3D action hack and slash brawler game like a Devil May Cry. I think something like that would be really good for WayForward as well.
I feel like if you wanted to go the Dynasty Warriors route, a really good IP for that would be Ronin Warriors. If you guys have ever heard of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that would be insane.
Adam's like working on it right now. Shut up.
or GoBots. GoBots.
GoBots.
There's never been
GoBots Dynasty Wars. I think that's clearly what people want right now.
I would play it.
Mash
I would play it. I would absolutely play it.
We would go so hard on the GoBots. We would do such like memorable characters and drama and everything that it would be like, oh man, I don't even care about Transformers anymore.
I believe it.
I'm all for it.
You guys make good stuff, so listen.
Thank you.
I trust you.
I'd love to see it. Well, all right, guys. You know, it was a pleasure having you guys on again.
Always.
And we plan to have you guys more often in the future. You know, definitely when you guys you got more stuff in the pipeline. We're definitely going to be there to test it out, show it on the channel, and hopefully have you guys on again to talk about it.
Any WayForward news? You hear it here first.
You know the stuff that's coming out right now. If you want to support us, Clock Tower Rewind. Lots of people picking that up. That's our port of the original Clock Tower. Never came out in the U.S.
Six
all consoles right now.
Oh yeah, Six says thank you.
The latest is what we've been talking about all show: Double Dragon DLC for River City Girls 2. That's out on everything, all consoles right now. Coming out on PC very soon. And aside from that, yeah, recent releases: Contra, Yars Rising for Atari. You know, Retro Realms, which was Halloween, and Ash vs. Evil Dead. And if you buy two, you can switch them up a little bit. So yeah, pick up any of those games, and you know, the more people dig our games, the more you stream them, the more you buy them. That just increases the possibility we'll get to work on titles that you guys all love in the future.
Yes.
Awesome.
Open up your wallets, guys.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let those little moths fly out.
Yes.
Thanks again for joining us today, guys.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Like I said, I was saying before the show, you guys are one of the best. I mean, we love being on the show, having our directors visit. You guys are just so engaging. I love the presentation. I love your set. I love the energy. Anytime you guys want to talk about anything WayForward, just hit us up. We'd love to have some of our talented folks like Bannon on.
Oh,
Thank you so much. That means a lot because we work hard on this.
Absolutely.
It does. It does. You know, it's a big deal having you guys on, and you know, we're always honored to have you. You know, you guys make time for us, so we're just like, all right. You know, I was like, we're gonna get into it. So,
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, man.
yeah, it's our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yes.
No
Appreciate it.
problem.
Thanks, Bannon.
Goodbye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Yes. And definitely good luck with the Double Dragon movie tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely good luck with that.
That might be a little
That's
tough.
got to be a rough one.
Oof.
It's got to be a rough one.
I gotta hop in and see how that
Yeah,
goes.
I gotta
boy.
watch that. I definitely gotta watch that.
I'm hopping
Oh,
in to see how that's gonna go.
Stay
So
tuned, y'all. Gonna take a quick bathroom break, so we'll be right back.
I already win twice.
Hell yeah!
I know you
It's
did.
always so fun
I
talking.
smell
to
it
them.
right here.
I know it's always a great time. Yeah, the great guys and great gal, Colleen. Shout out to Colleen and Megan McDuffie when she comes on. Yeah, they always, it's like they always work with great people. They
Mega
always,
Ran.
Oh, yeah, Mega Ran. It's just like, it's like everybody who they work with, who's employed at WayForward, who's come on here has just been great, man. So it's just like, it's always, when I see them on the schedule, I'm like, WayForward's back. I'm like, it's crazy.
I'll tell you, like, obviously I try my best. I like every guest that we have. We have a great time with everybody. But, like, when it comes to developers, Delala and WayForward are just like, it's just, I just feel like you've known them. You chill with them.
Yeah.
Like they're just cool peeps. They put out amazing content. They work with amazing people, talented people. And you just want to be a part of it and, just learn more about the process of how they came about making such incredible stuff.
Yeah.
So who's throwing their hats in the ring for voice acting for their games?
Oh,
I'm going to do an audition right now.
I think you can pick me for your next project because I have a long range of voices I can use.
See, right there. Boom. Sign me up.
That's up there.
Wow.
And I could play as a zombie.
Nope, you failed. Actually, what I really want to know, what do you guys think they're working on? What is that retro, nostalgic?
They said the IP makes
They wanted to work on
Thundercats
it
look
for-
like kittens.
it makes Thundercats look like kittens.
I'm going with X-Men, man. I'm thinking X-Men.
Could be Captain America and the Avengers.
Could be. It's something about X-Men, man.
Yeah,
Because they worked on X-Men before, right? In the past, didn't Adam say he worked on something with X-Men?
Well, the only thing is, I don't think they have the rights to the games.
Well, you got to threaten somebody.
You gonna threaten Disney?
I'll do it. I got these.
What, sir? What? What?
What do you think? What do you think?
I'm thinking it can't be Captain America. Can't be. Maybe if it makes Thundercats look like
Kittens, then.
kittens.
Then what's that really eat?
I'm
What's
gonna-
that really eat?
God, dude, I can't think of maybe G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe? I think
G.I. Joe's
they're
just
on
happy
the
about-
same line, right? To me, they're the same.
I don't know,
G.I.
man. Guanabee's doing a sequel, I think, to Operation Blackout.
Alright, so it's not G.I. Joe.
And they just came out with a G.I. Joe beat 'em up. Somebody did.
And it's a,
We haven't played it yet.
My
Yeah, we
man
gotta
said somebody did.
and
No,
it's
no, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
no.
the disc-
yeah, and it's
I-
a beat 'em up, and it's
I haven't checked it out yet, but I do want
it's
to play.
Metamorphic Force. No, I'm kidding.
You know?
Damn, I don't know. Maybe it could be a Justice League game.
That's big.
But Warner Brothers has that IP pretty much. Makes Thundercats look like kittens.
Bizarre thinks
And it's popular.
Voltron. I would love.
Voltron's actually a good guess.
That needs Voltron, He-Man, Superman. They need good games. They're storied IPs, legendary IPs that need good games to it.
Well, they came out with that first-person 80s dungeon crawler that was multiplayer, and it fell flat. I think Al or Jay played it, and they said it was but it had it had the look of that 80s cartoon, and it
Very
gets you
default.
excited. Yeah, it's like that should be third person first
Yeah.
of all,
Yeah.
and it makes me think of Visionaries, Visionaries is so underrated.
Yo, Visionaries,
It's so underrated.
bro.
It's like
was
a
great.
watered down. It was like a watered down game. Like a
I-
watered down beat 'em up.
That's whack.
Yo,
Yeah.
I need
Visionaries?
I
It
need
wasn't
Netflix
bad,
to
but it
bring
was
back
just-
Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Visionaries.
Visionaries
and
is,
Centurions.
Centurions was I had Centurions. Centurions was dope. Visionaries though, oof,
Yeah,
It's insane.
that's wild.
yeah. That I think it only had like 13 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, it was-
something ridiculous.
And I had all them toys. Dude.
I had one of the toys, and I was afraid of that shit. That shit. I had the one with the lion.
Oh, okay.
That scared the shit out of me. man.
I had the
I was
one-
having nightmares of that thing.
I had the one with the staff, and then the staff had like this weird hologram face in it, and I was waiting for it to pop out. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
why isn't this thing working?
Oh shit.
Those things are ahead of its time, man.
Yeah, man.
Maybe it's the Visionaries. I don't know.
Yeah, but does that make Thundercats look like kittens?
It depends.
But wait, hold on. Maybe that was the clue. It makes Thundercats look like kittens, so maybe it is Voltron.
Huh.
Because that's the only thing that
That's a
can
good.
make
That's a good.
Thundercats
That's a
look
good little
like kittens.
tie-in.
Giant robot lions.
That's a good.
That sounds like an Easter egg.
I like
Oh,
that.
boy.
I like
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
All right, let's get to the games we played this week, y'all. Yeah, we did. We played quite a few games.
Keep talking. I'm getting
Some of
hungry.
us. Some of us.
Eh,
Who we starting with?
Well, actually, you're in it.
Let's
you,
go.
You started playing this.
Oh yeah.
238.
What game
Okay.
we talking about?
Oh,
Wow.
we're not doing an indie game with you. We're doing a games played. It doesn't matter which.
We're doing their games played right now. And
alright.
then after, then we do the indie game of the week.
That's
and then-
fine with me. That's fine
Yeah.
with me. Hell yes. All right, so who's starting?
All right, so yeah, well, I guess we'll start off with the Curse of the Sea Rats that you guys played
Oh,
this
beat
past
it.
Sunday, man.
We finally beat the game.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Finally over. It's finally done.
Sensational.
That's dope.
Yes.
That voice out of
Yeah.
dope.
I'm telling you, Sea of Rats. It's. I really enjoy this game a lot. I really thought it was cool to do pretty much a Metroidvania 4-player. Obviously, I think the game probably could have used a couple more months in the oven to get rid of just 2 little gameplay quirks. But other than that, man, it's got a solid system, solid combat. Looks beautiful. Music's very relaxing. I wish it had a couple of more, fight type songs in there. But I'm glad we got the good ending.
All right.
But yeah, I think we beat it on 92%.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we
92% of the map.
we explored a lot of the map. Yes.
Do you think that they could improve the game through like a like an update or anything like that?
I think if they got rid
Yeah.
of the fact that you walk into enemies and you get hurt, you can get rid of that.
It's
Yeah.
like-
I don't know
sure.
what it takes. I'm not a developer, but you can get rid of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fact of when one person's off screen, there's a countdown till that character dies. I think should be eliminated from the game. They
Ooh,
should be.
that's-
They
that should be an option.
They should be teleported back to where player 1 is.
Yes.
I think that makes it a lot more
Yes.
easier than just have random people die because they're off the screen.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna walk into enemies and get hurt, you should do damage to the enemies too. If that, I mean, just to make it fair.
Or you just both just bump into each other, just bump.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just no damage. That's too old school.
Gotcha.
You know. But awesome game. I do recommend it though. Even though it sounds like I'm trashing it, but the game is awesome. It's a fun game, multiplayer.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the only. It's one of the few 4-player Metroidvania. It's a Metroidvania type.
Oh,
game,
we beat
you
the
know?
hell out of that boss.
Oh, we murdered this. I think we should have fought this boss earlier in the game, but we came through we just mashed buttons and killed this.
Yeah, we
That's how
beat
strong
that
we were.
boss like that, like it owed us money, man.
It's,
It was
it's a
terrible.
great game.
Mashing.
Very ambitious. I like the art. Some of the dialogue is just questionable.
There's funny points and then there's cringy points.
Gotcha.
But art is beautiful. The
Yeah.
art and the animation is beautiful.
That's good, man.
But yeah, no, I recommend. It's a great game.
Yeah,
It's a great game.
I definitely recommend it. 4-player Metroidvania. It's just like.
But we
it's-
beat the game. Yes.
I know we
Yeah,
beat
buddy.
it. So we can get back Sonic Superstars. We could bring that back on.
I think
you
it's
know?
only just gonna be 2 of us, Kev.
Dude, that's a 2-player co-op game.
I
man.
think we could do a 4,
I'm
guys.
not,
I
we're not
think-
doing
nah,
the
bro.
4 again.
I
man.
got it for the Xbox.
Not with
it's
all that
better.
platforming,
That
brother.
shit is broken for a player.
It's okay to do 2 players, dude. I'm down. I already said I'm down.
It's-
Not with all
you
that
want it to be
platforming,
fun.
my
You
guy.
don't want it frustrating. Like we had to remember we had to do Style had to freaking go through the because we kept dying. We couldn't do it. We couldn't stay on the platform.
Yeah.
It's like it was an afterthought.
I like.
I give him credit for
So
it's
trying.
ambitious for
Shoehorned,
trying. I
if
give
you
him,
will.
Yeah, that's what we call shoehorn. That is what we call shoehorn.
yeah, that's what happens when you shoehorn.
But 2 players, it could definitely. It'll be like Sonic 2 or Sonic and Knuckles,
Yeah,
which
no,
is dope because I heard the game was very dope.
What
so
about 3? It might. Maybe we could pull 3 off.
Nah,
No,
You'd have
dude,
to-
anything more than 2 is no.
you'd have to bribe Choc.
no.
Fine.
I would say get Sticks in there, but Sticks gonna leave us. So
Any chance he has to run ahead, he will.
Yep.
Shots fired, man.
I'm like, wait,
He
you're not
ain't even
Sonic. He'll be Amy, but leaving everybody. Like you're not quicker than Sonic. How you leaving everybody?
Then you guys also played the. You got a chance to play the DLC of River City Girls 2.
Yep. That's
The Double Dragon
the
DLC.
feature of the podcast itself.
How do you
so-
describe that? You just say fuck.
I mean,
That's what you just say. Like Jesus Christ.
we just had the devs on, man.
I know.
Alright,
right?
it's just
What
Jesus.
could we
And
say?
is it a noticeable difference?
Oh God, the way they're like integrated in the story, like with their dialogue, like Bannon and Adam were talking about. It's like from Double Dragon Neon, they were just like, just funny. It was just like a comedy thing. Even though the Double Dragons are funny in this, but they're more fleshed out characters. And-
okay.
Oh, they got their dialogue is funny when they come across somebody who is from their universe. They have a
Gotcha.
special, they got special things that they say.
That's
about
why I said these guys need their own game. These 2.
Yeah.
From this version need their own game. I would love to see it.
With this artwork and this
Yes.
style. Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that style's fine.
Absolutely.
It works perfect.
It
for
works great. I know Bannon said that they might be OP. They need to be. They're the fucking
No,
double
they're
dragons.
legends, and
They're the
beating up
double
a bunch of-
dragons.
They're beating up a bunch of high school kids.
Yeah, double dragons need to be OP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is like the DLC is like just a reward for everyone here. Pick the double dragons and go fuck everybody else. And then that's brilliant.
And it's
in
not
my
like the
opinion.
game is easy, you know. It's like
Yeah, they're
it's
still
not- it's not-
tough.
the
Still
game
tough.
is challenging still. You know, you have to, you know, you still have to, you know, watch how many enemies are on the screen, make sure you don't get sandwiched between them and stuff like that.
Right.
No, did he?
So,
Wow. Wow, sir.
but no, the
Wow.
moves, like the amount of moves, we didn't even scratch the surface. We were able to pull some crazy combo stuff and some teamwork.
And he's like,
off.
you could like cut off a move and start another one. I'm like, I think I did a little bit of that by accident with one of the moves, and that's the possibilities are just ridiculous.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
talking about the canceling. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, I can't wait to freaking start doing that more and getting more moves. There's a lot of moves I want to buy that I haven't even done yet, so we're gonna be playing that again real soon.
Absolutely.
See it on the channel. But yeah, I recommend it, everyone. If you love Double Dragons, or if you don't and they look cool, and you have River City Girls too, you should do it.
Give it
Yeah,
a shot.
the character design looks really dope. I like him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he did a good job with that design.
Choc, what'd you do? How was the Tekken 8 Fighter Friday?
Ha! You know, it's funny because I always gaslight these people that are way better at the game than I am. And I'm like, hey, streets is talking. Oh, there we go. I
And then they answered.
Yeah,
Perfect.
No, yeah, they answered.
They answered you, bro.
Bruh, it was terrible. I got stomped out. I stole a game from Hyperslap a couple times though.
For real.
I didn't steal a set. I stole a game.
Okay.
Oh really?
Yeah. That counts.
That
That
Yeah,
counts.
it counts. It counts. I showed up with Final Boss King and got stomped out. It was great. It was fun. It was super
Okay.
fun. And I love that game. I'm not. And my mistake was trying to stream it during the Tyson Paul fight.
God, man.
Oh, you mean the charade?
I mean, you didn't miss much.
The
so,
it was a fake fight.
Oh God, man. It
It
was
was-
cash
yeah.
grab.
Cash grab, scripted, fake fight.
Yeah,
It's
so
WWE.
it was. They missed the real fight on our channel to watch that fake fight.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
Yeah, you did miss
I
much.
don't want no smoke with Mike Tyson. but yeah, fun stream as always. I love that game.
Nice, man. What else you play, bro?
I played Iron Man VR.
What? There you
Yeah.
go.
Wait, you have a VR?
No.
What?
I went to visit my buddy upstate.
Oh,
and,
he had it.
Okay.
Yeah,
How was it?
amazing.
Really?
I'm getting dizzy
I-
looking at this.
No,
footage, man.
I'm like, yo, how do you leave the house?
Yo.
'Cause I tell you
How
right
do
now,
you leave that?
If I had this, I wouldn't leave my house.
Really?
No, I'm not buying.
Is that immersive?
I'm not buying that headset, dog. Bro. The first mission is like you're flying, bro.
Wait, what? Explain it. No, explain it. I'm,
No, the
I
fir-
never.
the first
I'm curious.
They
I'm curious.
they take you through a tutorial which is before what you were just watching,
Okay.
and then the first mission of the game.
Oh, here we go. Like this. Here we go. This is the intro,
That's the intro.
and you're flying in this. Oh shoot, that's
bro.
so
and
you
then
feel.
Oh,
the
wow.
first actual mission, you're like you're doing battle in the middle of the sky while a plane is crashing, and you're just like
Wow.
you're Iron Man, bro.
Do you
Like,
do
like,
a pulse blast? You shoot the beams and
bruh,
everything.
the
Really?
repulsors, and it's like you have two separate repulsors, so you could be like,
Oh.
and I'm just like,
Hold on. Let me see if I can find.
I
Well,
heard.
here, is
I
it-
actually heard good things about this.
no, it's
So like you're
good.
flying through here, and I'm curious about the controls though. Like,
It's
Power's down.
is it seamless?
Power's gone.
It's yeah.
It's
It-
intuitive.
It's good, dude. It's
Okay, so there's no learning curve with the controls.
there's a bit of a learning curve with me because I'm special. But,
Okay.
but the way you control is like the way you see it when you see him fly in the movies.
Yeah.
Like you move your hand, you have your hands your palms face down,
Oh.
and that's how you direct the flight.
Interesting.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's dude, it's so dope. I can't buy that. I will.
Power's
never-
gone.
Yeah.
I will never leave
exactly.
my house. Never ever leave my house.
Does he
again.
say that? Power's gone.
No, he hasn't said that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like VR
Look at
doesn't get enough. When they pull something off that's really, really good, it's not like people are singing the praises too much. I guess because it's still very niche.
And
you know?
it's super niche, man. And it's like the price of entry is expensive, and it's they're
Worth it.
working on making it cheaper, but
Nah, it's worth it. It's
Yeah.
worth it. It's absolutely worth it.
when I messed with the MetaQuest 3, I liked it. I'm like, this is really awesome.
I played the MetaQuest 2, Tetris Effect
Mhm.
connected, and it was cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could pay for I don't know. I'm just not a VR guy. Man.
Shout out to our buddy Laval. And
Ah, word.
another game I played was Dragon Ball Fighters.
Ah.
Shout out to my godson Ian. Ian
Taught him a lesson.
Ian said he was gonna smoke me in Dragon Ball Fighters. Oh no, the kid said, he's gonna cook me. He said he was gonna cook. He said he was gonna cook me.
Wow.
And we powered up the game. He picked Ultra Instinct Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, and I was like, he picked all top tier characters.
I just about to say that's the cheesiest lineup I've ever seen in my life.
And I'm like, all right, there's a real chance I may die.
Pick Yamcha, Tien, and Piccolo.
But
That's my team.
Uncle Choc is gonna die.
But apparently, little man stove was off. He ain't cooked nobody.
Really?
Did he cook for you after?
No, he got no. I smoked him. I smoked him.
This kid's got
Because I didn't remember how to play. And then I started remembering how to play, and I was a problem.
It came back
I was
to
a,
you.
Had
I was
that
a problem for
PTSD
him.
moment. So, oh shit.
I was a problem for him. Anybody else, anybody who's still been playing the game would probably destroy me.
Did you yell at him?
Nah, I
You
didn't.
got yell. You got yell.
Nah,
at
you
these
can't
kids.
yell at
No,
me.
you got yell.
It's
at these
family,
kids.
man. It's family.
Yeah,
No, no, fuck that. They gotta know.
That's fam.
That's how you teach family.
Nah.
Like, you wanted to fight me, little man, and then you like,
Oh.
fuck out of here.
Yeah, my man, there was no gas, there was no electric. That stove was not cooking, bro.
Oh, man.
Wasn't cooking.
No stove.
Next
Not
time,
a-
Godson, next time.
Not even induction.
Nope. Nothing. Ice cold.
Damn.
Your boy taught him a lesson.
Cooking with
Say
a cooking with a freezer.
No, I like stories like that when someone talks smack and then you smoke them. I love those.
That's why you
Those
just
are
stay
great.
quiet and let them talk.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's
man.
9.
Then they gotta learn. They gotta learn.
They shouldn't be talking. They shouldn't be talking.
Yeah, where do you learn? Where do you learn to talk?
And
Learn
that's
young.
exactly what Val said to him. He's like, "Can't talk junk if you haven't been practicing, bro.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yep.
Can't do it."
Gotta hold up. Gotta hold it up, man. Turbo, what'd you play, bro?
He held that out.
Oh, we're gonna go straight to me. I
Yes.
played. Let's see. I played
Spider-Man 2.
Yes, I did. That was one of the games I played. We'll start with that one. Spider-Man 2. Wow, that writing though in that game, that script.
What part are you up to?
I
Spoiler alert,
I'm not
yo.
gonna spoil anything. I'm like 30, 40, 35% maybe. Am I 40%? 35%.
That's it.
It got. Yeah, I'm not even that. I know that there's. Yeah, I'm not. But I'm not at a part where I want to do a spoiler alert. Oh
No,
well,
don't tell you.
well, no, there's no spoiler alert.
Just
I haven't seen Venom yet. Venom is in the game. That's promotional. He's not been.
Oh, when there's certain part happens, I want to see him talk about a certain part. That happens.
yeah.
But no, but it's the way certain fights, like the way the events roll into each other and they're scripted, is crazy. It's just like
It's a movie.
it's a movie.
because you got like we're all familiar with the black suit and when Peter Parker got the black suit and everything like that. But he's with Miles Morales now, so you got Miles reacting to Peter in the suit, and they have a really great dialogue and a thing going on, working as partners because whenever you see Miles in a comic or in anime or whatever like that, that Peter Parker is supposed to die, right? It's like that's like it's because he's replacing that person, but now they're both in the same universe working together as partners. So it's just like it's a really great dynamic, and the story is just like
I love that kick on the wall.
Yeah.
I thought that was putting that
That
in
looks
the game.
hilarious.
nah the black symbiote moves are crazy. Like they're really really awesome. But I like the regular ones, even with like the arms that Spider-Man has and all the moves that he's able to do with that. But story's great game. I'm looking forward to playing through more of it, and it's addicting right now. Yeah. Very, very addicting. Well, everyone knows Spider-Man 2 is great, so I don't really need to go crazy with that. Other game I'm playing is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed DLC, which is surprisingly very good. I beat this game, the main game, to death with over 100 hours.
Jeez.
So yeah, this one right here is probably hit. I don't know. Am I at 15, 20 yet with this game? I don't know, but it's just like they give you 6 people. You got Shulk and Rex, who are the main characters of the first game and the second game, and it's just, if you like Xenoblade Chronicles, it answers a lot of questions. The story is just crazy, and I can't believe they added new mechanics different from the base game, and it's just, it's crazy.
Shulk is in the game.
Shulk is in it.
Playable character.
He's a playable character. He's on your squad.
Like Shulk from Smash Brothers. Schmoke.
Yeah.
Schmoke.
Schmoke.
Shulk.
Schmoke.
He is a schmoke. Remember when Turbo thought he could use him?
Yep, I remember that.
Oh yeah, I tried these.
Oh, boy.
You know, if I stuck with them, I could, but it's just like, you know what? It's crazy.
Style, what'd you play, man?
That was all you had.
Yeah,
Are you
Yeah, we
alive?
discussed this before podcast.
I know. He was just staring at his phone. Not
I don't know
saying
why
anything.
he's staring at his phone.
Yeah,
but
he just like it's like he was in safe mode.
Yeah,
He's
no,
like
I
this.
don't
Turned off. He just shut
no
off.
idea why you're doing that.
Choc, you read that question from the chat? Because the chat here froze, so I look at it
Oh,
on
it
my
did?
phone. Yeah,
Oh.
so yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice it froze.
Sorry
My
about that.
apologies. So yeah, there was a question that was intriguing.
Didn't know.
Are you considering keeping the same format or throwing new ideas of playing abilities? Or in relation to
Yeah, in relation to what game vendor, I apologize. Yeah, I'm not sure what we need a little context for that one. But
my bad.
but Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed
Now
DLC
it's working.
is freaking awesome. Great game, and it's good DLC, just like the Double Dragon DLC. You know, people are making these game developers, man. They're just making this, DLC is like, it's just extra content. I beat the main game, but no, it's good enough to go back in it and enjoy it even more,
All up in it.
and remind you how great the game is.
The game, dude. What's
The
wrong
game's
with
up.
you? Don't give me that face.
You know, so that's what I gotta say about that.
Wow.
You know, but it's supposed to be about 40 hours too, so I'm looking forward. It's not even supposed to be that long, but we'll see. We'll see how it is. And that's your turn next, Eric. I think it's all you.
Been playing the Blasphemous 2 DLC. I probably have, what do I got now? 3 or 4 hours into it, maybe?
Blasphemous 2 DLC.
Yeah, Blasphemous 2 DLC.
And I'm guessing it's really good.
It's good. It's good. I'm annoyed by a lot of the jumps they've added.
New weapons?
No, same 3 weapons.
Okay.
The daggers, the sword, and the flail. But new enemies. I fought one boss. I think there's 2 bosses in the DLC, but I fought one. Because I've played this game so much and other Metroidvanias, I was able to beat that boss in 2 tries. But I could see if somebody said, "Yo, I'm stuck on him," I would understand because he is a dick. I just think my character's just very strong. I have the right shit equipped, and I kind of just fucked him up. But he's a bit of an annoying nonsense. But so far so good. I mean, it's cool. It's nothing like groundbreaking. Like, oh my god, this DLC is crazy. Obviously, the Blasphemous 1 DLC was pretty epic. Pretty dope. I would like to see how this one ends. I want to see the second boss, but I think I'm getting close to the end of it because I'm starting to see the percentage of the map go. I'm at like 90, so I'm probably getting close. And there's this other character who's like the same height as the penitent one that just keeps saying shit.
Oh,
And
no.
I haven't ran into him. I just keep seeing the back of him.
Uh-oh.
No, did he? But and like
Christ.
he looks like a character from Battle Chasers. Like he has like a cool sword and he's just like speaking some shit. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to fight him or something. But he doesn't seem like too much of a villain. He seems more of like a, like, oh, this is my code and what I'm supposed to do. I don't know if I should fight him. Blah, that type of shit. But seems like a cool character. I'm gonna hopefully find some time next week to finally beat the DLC because I refuse to go back into Ayuden Chronicles till my other shit is done.
Right.
You can't go into
Yeah,
a
no.
RPG
No,
and play an hour here and there. No, I got to be fully
bro.
immersed.
Yeah.
And I stopped at the right part too.
Okay.
Like as soon as like, oh, this is the intro. Now this is your hub. Okay, I'm
so
gonna
you
stop.
won't learn. So you won't lose your place. when
Yeah,
you go
yeah,
back.
yeah.
I
It's
got
like, it's like I don't have any characters but 2,
Right.
and
Right.
I'll start when I start.
You got your feet wet.
Exactly.
And then you don't have to. You're not committed 100%. yet.
Exactly. Just
I
2-3
gotcha.
hours in, and I'm okay. I'm chilling.
That's not bad.
But also, go ahead, Al. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say real quick. I was watching your. This was the first time seeing the DLC.
Oh yeah, you were watching.
It was
Yeah,
the first time watching you play, and I was like, I've never seen that enemy before, and you were like, oh, this is the deal. I'm
yeah,
like,
they got
oh,
a couple of them.
It looked really good, interesting.
I
man.
always find sometimes that the enemies they add are tougher than the bosses.
Yeah.
Like, cause they're dicks.
Well, that one, what was it, the witch or whatever, that was like floating over with the blood, she's making. The
oh
blood,
yeah, making the blood come out of the ground. They put 2 of them on the screen. They fuck up everything because they
Yeah.
add jumps to it. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right, enough of this.
I was looking at that like, yeah, that looks annoying.
It's
that
like you have to be
annoying.
in the mood for
Yeah.
that kind of fuckery. It's like,
I'm like, it's
You
gonna
should
be a while
stream
before
it
I
so
play
people
it,
could.
nah, because I get extra angry on the stream.
Yeah,
You ever see me stream Fury? I legit got angry on the stream and I felt bad about it.
I didn't even watch the
felt
stream, but I
bad
heard
about
you.
it?
Yeah,
screaming
because
in
I
the
said
house.
fucking shit. Fucking I forgot I was recording. I was so mad.
I remember hearing you stream. The whole
Boss
game.
7, fuck that boss. Boss 7, because everyone talked about 3, and 3 is a very challenging boss. He should be like 8 or 9 or something. 7 was the worst.
Really?
I hated
Why?
him so much. And I got mad. Six was like, it didn't seem too hard to fight. I said, because you were watching. You were watching.
The backseat gamer.
Backseat gamer. Shame on you, Six. Shame on you.
Backseat.
But
Man, I think people would love to see that though.
well, I just.
Yeah. Well.
See you have
Who
a
was it?
mental
Harris.
breakdown while playing
Harris
games.
was enjoying it because he's like, I beat this on hard. I said, fuck you, Harris.
I feel like you gotta
so angry.
like you gotta make a doctor's appointment with a cardiologist before you.
Yo, no,
make sure
that
you're
boss-
make sure you're okay before you.
Dude,
play.
that boss was. Ooh. But other than that, obviously, I've been playing some multiverses because they just released Raven. I don't play with Raven. That's not my type of character, even though she's cool as shit. Her moves are fucking dope. No one has been really cheesy with her yet. People have been actually decent, and they haven't been exactly like the past few matches have been good competitive matches, and I don't really have too many bad things to say about the game right now. The only thing that I would say, because you get to try out, because they're testing out shields in the game, so you could test it out in the training or in another mode. And I was playing the computer with shields, and you know what? The shields just feel natural.
Really?
They feel natural to me. I think that's what prevents people from doing the same move over and over on the ground, and makes people change up and actually learn all the moves of the character rather than using two.
Gotcha.
So, and maybe if someone's blocking like that, I could use Superman's Ice Breath, and that actually might be a use for the fucking Ice Breath. But no, I like what's going on with the game, man. I really do. I like Raven. I think she's dope. Marceline, I don't care about, but that's good for the game. Gets more eyes on it. Obviously, I'm just still waiting on Robin. I don't care which one. Just give me Robin.
Damian
do it
Wayne.
already.
Just give me one of the cool Robins, and I'll be ecstatic. But no, the game's looking good, man. From where it was, and that was a dark place, and hopefully they make a good comeback in 2025.
No, it's feeling good. It's feeling better. It's every time they come up with an update, it's been better.
I feel like I'm getting when you are playing a game competitively, and you're playing a certain character, you're learning a new character. You take your beatings with that character, but you feel like you're still learning.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good fighter.
Yeah.
Rather than like I'm just out here hitting buttons.
Yeah, no, it's
When you
it's called training. Man.
Yeah,
That's
when
what-
you feel you're just out there hitting buttons, it's
Right.
like I'm not. This is the cheapest fucking game I've ever played. Everyone's just spamming the same 3 moves, picking the same 3 characters. They're not trying to learn other characters. They just want to know who's the cheapest.
right.
Of course, man. That's
That's online, man.
that's basically the fighting game community at large. People will not. I feel well, especially competitive people, and I get it because if you're playing for money, then yeah, you're gonna pick the best character you possibly can. But
Right.
like the other casual players, they try and pretend like they're professionals and pick the best character, and just like, nah, dude.
Yeah, Shaggy's I don't respect. I don't care what you do. Finns I don't respect. I don't
Play
care.
the characters that you like. Period.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, those I will never respect those people who pick them.
Like for example, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I'll make this real quick. People picking out there picking Yajirobe and the androids because they can heal themselves,
It's like man.
and then they use like stall tactics to time out the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we call that ballless.
yeah. Because I'll tell you right now, nobody's favorite character is Yajirobe. I'll tell you that right now. No.
Give me a cheap thing to do, and I'll do it, and act like I'm great. It's
Yeah,
like no,
because
dude.
Yajirobe can give himself a Senzu bean and
Yeah.
refill his entire health bar. Crazy.
Yeah, Jerobi.
we call that broken, ladies and gentlemen. That's broken.
Yeah.
But that is all I'm playing
All right.
right now.
I'm actually still playing the Entropy Effect. I'm a little bit over halfway through it. I looked up to see how many other puzzles I have left. I think it was like 13. Dope game.
What's
Dope
the
game.
What's the name?
Oh, I think I saw this.
It's called the Entropy Effect.
The Entropy.
Yeah, the gun that you use
it's like
reverses time.
It reverses time on objects, the entropy of an object. So like, it's a puzzle solving game where you have to figure out. You work for this organization on the moon, and you have amnesia. You don't know where you are, and the gun actually is like an AI that's programmed to help you on your task, and it doesn't help you with the puzzles, but it like explains things, and it's funny writing. It's funny writing, and it talks to you as you're playing the game. But you see right there, see that falls apart, and but you can rewind time for objects. So now you step on the platform, and then it gets back together, and then now you can go to the next level. There, you see.
That's pretty cool.
So it gives you a different way of looking at things. You know, like
It's
some
nothing
of the,
like Doom.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
it's nothing. Wow, that's a genius comment right there.
Yeah, it's not a shooter,
you're
dude.
you're on the ball, Kev.
It's not a shooter.
Like, it looks nothing like Doom.
No, but I'm really enjoying the game. The writing is very good. I can see this being like not a game, but like a movie. Like the script is really, really well done. It's very, very sci-fi thought out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other game, which I think all of us here need to play this. And this is the first time I played it. Hades. I'm 100% addicted to this game. This is insane. I'm not a big fan of roguelike games. Holy crap, man. This game, I know, obviously it got Game of the Year when it was released. So, oh my God, man. What can I say? One thing I will say is the acting is awesome. The dialogue is awesome. It's constant. And it changes it up just enough so that it's like fresh dialogue every time you interact with people and stuff. And then, it's so freaking cool. It's so good, man.
It looks cool. It looks like a fast-paced roguelike Diablo. Is that what that's?
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah.
Kinda, sorta, but it's super fast-paced.
It looks more frantic.
Super fast-paced.
I should have played it when it was on Game Pass.
Bro,
reminds me of the Turtles game.
This it's based off of this.
Yeah,
that's what they. But this does it better. Like after playing the Turtles game, that's like. I'm not gonna say watered down, but they took elements of this.
I see.
It's similar, but it does not play like from playing the Turtles game and then playing this.
Yeah,
this plays a lot different, like a lot more polished. I should say
more brilliant, more polished.
Yes, and there's a lot of hazards in the game too. There's like there's like spikes that come out. There's like triggers on the floor that you step on, and there's like a spear would like come out. So there's a lot of things to like worry about.
Yeah.
But what the one thing that I do like, that I didn't like with Dead Cells, is you don't lose 100% of all your stuff. Obviously, you're gonna lose your weapon that you get and like upgrades. But there's certain upgrades that you can purchase that stay with you, and it's really good stuff, man.
I think that's the mark of a good roguelike. If you're able to have something has to be permanent as far as the upgrades.
Dead Cells should have a sequel called Incels.
Stop. What, sir?
Wow.
That's the thing. That's
sir.
What the fuck,
sir?
Dude, that's.
That's so
not even gonna add to that. I was gonna add something to that. I was gonna add something to that.
They should put incels in a game though. Like they should be like called incels. Like and then
have them incel.
I'd like
incels in a cell.
In the cell. Make it cell shaded.
Put cell shaded incels.
Hell in a cell.
Beat them up. Put them in a cell. I would do voice acting for them. I do great voice acting.
Oh man.
That's
a good game idea right there.
This got dark.
But yeah, no, the artwork is beautiful too, man. It's by the same team, the devs that did the game Transistor.
Okay.
It's very similar to that. But oh my god, man. So awesome. Such a great game, dude.
Drunken Dash After Party is some of the upgrades.
It's from the God Dionysus.
Yeah, the dialogue is really well done, man. It's
a great looking game. It really is.
So good, man. I was in shock. I knew it was good. I knew it got Game of the Year and everything like that. But when I started playing it, I'm like, holy shit, I'm addicted to this.
You don't know until you play.
Isn't the sequel?
You know when you play
dropping
something
next
and you're doing something else and you're like, all you're thinking about is like that game. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Even watching this footage, I'm like, damn, I want to go
Unicorn
back.
Overlord is what you're saying.
It's pretty much, yo, dude.
Oh, Unicorn Overlord.
I'm like, I am addicted to this. I am addicted to this game.
Oh man, crazy.
But yeah, that concludes all the games we played, y'all.
And yes, Chocolate, I think a sequel should be coming out soon, right?
I think next year, right?
I think so.
The Hades sequel
might be.
No, it's out. It's early access. It's available right now.
Oh, okay. Already?
It's not. It hasn't dropped 100%, but the early access, which I actually got a chance to play a little bit of it, but not much. It was just like maybe two minutes, just to see it. But I didn't know what was going on or anything.
Wow.
And yeah. Now I can't wait to play that. I can't wait to finish this so they can go to the sequel.
Back to
and Hades. I heard that's co-op too. I heard
Hades 2.
Hades 2, I believe is co-op. I could be wrong. But
nice.
I think
they're inspired by the Turtles game. Like, look, we can at least give 2-player. After they did 4 in this model, we do at least 2. It's 2.
Anyway,
that works.
Let's move on to the indie game of the week, y'all.
Oh,
And we're gonna need Choc to read out all the information. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready?
No.
All right, I'll wait.
Wait,
Let me
wait,
stop.
What? I'm reading what information?
You're gonna know when it comes up. Are ready?
Okay, cool.
Oh no. What's gonna be the end of the game of the week, everyone? Ah!
Mechstermination Force. Released April 4th, 2019 by Horberg Productions for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows.
Oh yeah.
This is a boss rush game, correct?
Yes, it's a Contra boss. It's a co-op Contra boss rush mode. It reminds me a little bit of We've brought this game up a couple of times in the podcast before. It's very much the bosses are the stage. So if you're familiar with playing games like Shadow
animation.
of Colossus or whatever, it's like how like a boss is. It's a stage. There's different elements to each boss. You climb it, you disable different parts, and then you're on to a different. It's crazy. And it's
I
also a Melee too.
always thought that Contra should steal their bosses and make their bosses like this.
Right.
Make it a big giant thing. Yeah, that you have to do.
Oh, imagine that. You get a stage and then you have a boss like this
yeah,
at the end. That'd be
it's-
awesome.
Yeah, and it's like a hell of a thing to do, and I think that'd be amazing because I really love this game. I think this game was like $2 or some shit like
it
that.
It wasn't that much.
They give you so many different like weapons, and this boss in particular was like out of control
Oh,
because
yeah,
you're
it's just-
constantly trying to find a safe spot so you don't fall down the hole. It's done very well, and I don't think out of the indie games that we've played, this one gets much credit at all.
No, it doesn't. It's
Mm.
great. It's really,
It
really
plays
awesome.
very well. Very well.
Whatever it is.
And there's even like a melee move also, which is
Yeah,
you
so
know-
they pulled out a bat and just
A bat
swung
or a
at
good. The
him.
other guy
Guitar.
has a guitar. A bat and a guitar.
it looks silly, but it's cool though. It's like it's because certain weak points are only smashed by the melee move. So it's like it's something other shoot 'em ups or shooters could learn from by having something.
I think
a
that would
melee.
be an evolution of Contra. If Galuga did an amazing job.
Mhm.
I think to make the boss battles evolve is you
Yeah.
make into a big like team effort. Because remember, Galuga was 4 players. So could you imagine having a big boss, but like there's this the main weak point you have to get to. All 4 characters are like disabling different shit at the same time and try to get to that. That would be an amazing
Mechanic.
co-op immersive experience for Contra.
Yeah.
And WayForward, you could steal my idea. That's fine.
Oh. There's bullet hell, but you can shoot the bullets. I like that. See, I don't mind bullet hell where you can shoot the bullets.
This game was well done.
Yeah, it was
This
very
game's very
smooth.
well done.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There was nothing where I was like, this is indie, this is clunky. No, this was actually very well done.
it was very
Let's see
good.
if we can get the devs on the
I
channel, man.
reached out a while ago, but there was no dice. I think there was either working on a game or some things were going on, so I could always reach out again. But yeah, he also did a beat 'em up too that had
Mhm.
like one color. I think you got it, Al. I forgot what it was.
Oh yeah,
was like
that
a
was,
blue
p-
outline.
Damn it.
I forgot the fucking name of it.
Punch Patrol, Super Punch Patrol.
Maybe.
That's what it was. Yeah,
It was like that one color, right? Like
yes. It's like a monochrome, like sepia, like monochrome, and there's like one. It's like 3 colors,
yeah.
like a light brown, a red, and like a light blue.
Yeah, that was the same developer that did that game.
Wow.
But
Actually, man, I was trying to get it going for Fighter Fridays.
I
co-op.
think you were trying to do it for a
a
while ago.
long
a
time
while
ago.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's
Hold
been a
up.
minute.
Super Punch Patrol. Let me see. if I can
Choc's like
find it.
one beat 'em up every 3 months, please.
Listen, the audience
Yeah, here it is. Yep.
participation in
Yeah.
Fighter Fridays goes over very well.
This is it
Exactly.
right here. Super Punch Patrol. Yep, it's 3 colors.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. Also,
Ah.
they had another game. I think the first game was Gunman Clive, which was actually
Gunman Clive,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That was a really
That's
surprisingly
Horror
good game.
Productions as well. Yeah.
And they did a I think they Switch on the Switch. They did like a remastered version of it, or like an expansion. I think of Gunman Clive,
Wow.
or was it the 3D?
It's a cool
The Wii U.
filter. I like the hand drawn.
It looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
the
that's
comic-y.
It's got a cool feel. Yeah. It's like it's pretty cool.
I dig it, man.
Gotta give credit where credit's due. Yeah, hopefully we can get him on the podcast one of these days. Shout out to Horrorberg Productions for crafting Mechstermination for us.
Yeah.
Solid shooter. Solid shooter.
Yeah.
Co-op if anybody wants to try to play that. Get
And-
down to eShop. I'm sure it's not going to be that much. It's probably,
I think it's like $2 to $3 right now.
digital
something like that.
storefronts. Yeah, it's not that much money. I think I paid like $5 or something for it.
Yeah.
It was
That's
the
well
money
worth it.
well spent. Money well spent.
Wow.
The guns in the game is great. The bosses are inventive. It's a lot of fun.
So they get the official seal of quality, man.
Yes, they
Yes,
do.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And not every game gets that because we played some garbage. We played some garbage, but we don't like we know that developers put a lot of work into even bad games. They put a lot of work into it. So it's like we don't like to really trash games too much unless it's like Superman 64. Like it's just something that you just like people need to stay away from. So some games are just like okay, not that great. We won't trash it, but some are just like no, they're really bad.
So my question to you is it time?
I think it's time, man.
No.
I think
Time
it's
for
time.
what?
I asked you, is it time?
Ow, my ears are bleeding, man. Ouch.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the news.
Flying Warriors. All right, here we go with the first piece of news we have here. Microsoft confirms plans to release an Xbox handheld, but it's a few years away.
That is actually a lie. Next topic, please.
Why? Why?
I don't know, Chuck. How do you feel about that?
I don't.
I don't feel
Well, you're
about
not
it.
you're not a handheld guy, so
Nah,
Neither
dude.
am I.
I'm
Neither-
always
neither is,
driving,
Stallion,
I'm always
because-
like busy at work. Like I don't have time for a handheld. Like, stop it.
And you want a bigger screen to see everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm intrigued by, I would like an Xbox handheld to play on the train while I'm going to work and stuff like that. I think I do that with the Switch now, and I think it would
You can't
be
play both while you're on a train. You have to pick.
do you think
Kev's
it's
like,
gonna be do you think it's gonna be a dedicated handheld or like a streaming one like the PlayStation Portal?
I think if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it like
Because it's got Game Pass. With Game Pass, you could play all the games, but you're gonna have to stream that shit.
Xbox likes, Microsoft, or I should say the Xbox brand is about power. They're going to want to be able to they're not going to want to make a less powerful portable. So they're going to give us probably a next-gen home console that just does that and come out with like a companion portable piece that you could probably, I hope you would be able to download some games onto it so you could play it regardless of whatever the
Wishful thinking, man.
I just say,
That's
you
not
lost me at games.
yeah.
What games?
Wishful thinking, dude.
No. It's gonna play the same. No, it's
gonna play the same game.
Yeah, it's gonna play the.
How many times can we play Halo Infinite? Come on, man.
Portable is gonna
Forza
play
on
the
the go.
same. It's gonna be a companion console to the home console. It's not gonna be like a Switch, but it's gonna be one that's like okay.
That's what we hope for. That's what we hope for. But
No, they're not gonna do that.
you're
They're not gonna do a
definitely
Switch.
you're making a statement like they're gonna do it.
They're not gonna do it.
We're hoping that they do that. But I mean, the way it's going now with everything streaming,
Mhm.
and Sony's, even though a lot of people gave it, shit, freaking the PlayStation Portal is selling.
Yeah,
I don't know how. I don't know
it's-
why. I don't know how.
Well, it's to
I-
credit Sony with that. 200's not a bad price point.
no, it's a good price
It's
point.
not a bad price point.
I've
actually.
seen. I know 3 coworkers that I ran into. One of them he just started at work, and,
Mhm.
and he had one.
Yeah.
I was and I was like,
I got
wow, that's. He's like, yeah. I'm like, there's no lag or anything like that. He's like, yeah, you'll notice it, but it's like depending on the games that you play, you really don't notice it.
Yeah, I got a friend who's a cop. He goes into work, and you have a good Wi-Fi connection. He
Yeah.
plays it on there, and he
But he's
loves it.
supposed to
Stop,
be.
hold on,
He's
hold
supposed
on,
to be a
hold on.
cop,
Stop.
dude.
He's
Like,
Protecting the
Stop.
streets.
Let's
what's he
rewind.
supposed to
Hold
be
on, let me get
protecting
this
us,
part.
man. Good
Stop.
thing you didn't say his
Stop.
name.
I'm
You
not
just put
saying
him
Let's
on
rewind.
blast.
Let's
What?
you said.
Why?
What is he doing playing PlayStation Portal on the clock?
My man said,
Well, he didn't say his name, thankfully.
Yeah, they,
"Thank God, I see about to get fired today."
Bro,
they got
Trying to
downtime sometimes, and they're able to
protect the
play
streets.
for the game.
You're
so-
protecting the streets. Ain't no downtime.
You see him in the cop car.
bro.
It's like,
Damn,
It's
man.
at the station or something like that,
Got to move on from this one.
yo,
Yeah.
bro.
I'm just
But
saying
yeah.
that. But yeah, it's like I'm intrigued by Xbox's possible portable, but it's got to be it's going to be powerful. It's going to be, but they're going to have a home console too. I don't imagine it to be a Switch, but I would like to see it.
Well, whenever they decide to release this, we're gonna wait a long time. So.
Nah, I'm good on that.
It's not happening anytime soon.
I'm good on that. Because I'm not gonna carry it on vacation with me. I'm not gonna
Really?
Nah, dude.
I bring my games with me.
If I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. I'm not bringing my games with me unless I'm going to Evo and I need to warm up.
I play on vacation on my downtime. I'm on vacation, man. I want to have a good time and relax.
Look,
and playing games is the way I relax.
Yeah, like
relax.
there's downtime on a vacation.
I get it.
There's
Everybody chills, in their own way, and that's the way I like to play games when I'm on vacation.
Dude, I'll be on a flight playing games. People are like, oh, you don't watch movies on the freaking plane? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I have a backlog, and I'm playing the whole time. I'm like 9-hour flight, 7 hour. I'm like, no, I can do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Nah, I'm with you on that one, man. That's yeah. Anyway,
knockout mid movie.
But let us know what you guys think about Xbox coming out with a handheld.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a wise choice for them? I don't know. It's tough to really predict.
Who gives a fuck?
Where the console wars are gonna go.
That answer? Who gives a fuck?
How long do you think it's gonna take for them to actually do it?
It'll be with it's not gonna be a Series X thing. It's gonna be their next generation. It's gonna be a companion console with their next home console.
2027.
Yeah, something like that. Okay.
I'll only buy it if the launch game is the level 857 beat 'em up.
Oh man.
Then I'll buy it.
On a small ass screen.
Yeah.
You ungrateful bastard.
Yes, very. I got to be on the big screen, man.
They show you guys are in the game.
No,
you throw it back out.
That, man.
Nah,
on
dude.
Baby screen.
Nah, dude. If it's a companion, then we can play it on the big screen.
Oh,
it's just that with that we can carry it everywhere. And at that point, if I'm in a video game, I'm carrying it everywhere.
For real.
If I'm a playable character in a
need
video
evidence,
game, I'm
man.
carrying it everywhere.
I'll just take a picture.
Right. Moving on to the next news. There's only 2 news articles today. So
Yay!
Yeah, we don't need we don't force the news.
You guys really like this segment.
I love the news. But
Same,
we're only doing good news stories. We're not going to force
Yeah.
a 4 if just 2 this week is only
Yeah.
new.
So as far as going with the news, the good news, here's the next article.
Okay, From Software, I remember this one. From Software. From Software parent company has received buyout. I'm 6 today. Offer from Sony. Yeah, you know what? I think. What do you guys feel about that? I read that article.
I mean, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's a big deal because that's Elden Ring.
Yeah,
Elden Ring.
the big 3 are still doing their merge-a-thon, trying to buy other companies and stuff like that. But I think that's a good fit, kind of, right? From Software, you got your Dark Souls, your Elden Ring,
Armored Core, right?
Armored Core. They're Japanese game publisher. Sony. I think it would be a good fit. So I don't know, man. I like them being after the whole Activision thing with Microsoft. It's like, what else could you really do that's going to make much of a dent? I lost my appetite for mergers these days.
I mean, I don't fuck with those games, so I don't give a fuck. So I mean, they can do whatever they want to do. I don't play those games.
I don't want to see those games to be exclusive to Sony platforms, but if they are, I'm still, I still buy Sony hardware anyway. So I'll find the games where they are when I eventually get to them. They're not my favorite. I have Sekiro. I'm still playing on the Xbox. It looks great, by the way, 60 frames. But I'm just saying, like it's 60 frames. It plays great on the Xbox.
Stick says, "Don't you dare let Sony buy that company. Don't you dare."
Oh,
Sticks?
man.
I know. I don't.
But the Sony is your company, though, Jay.
Yeah, man.
And Elden Ring's your game.
Yeah,
and you
Elden
have
Ring,
both.
bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's you. That's all you.
If Microsoft buys them, then they're probably going to get canceled and close the studio.
Damn, bro.
that was
after getting high reward.
That was a bummer after effect. They bought, I'm like, I thought it was great to put them in a better competitive position, Microsoft. But hearing people getting fired and stuff like that, it's like, would you have? It's like that's always a bummer.
Let's buy it and close the studio.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Cutthroat,
so
man.
wild.
No, but I lost my appetite for mergers. I don't want to see it go through.
Right. Right.
If it does, jeez, then, hopefully. And that's the thing about Sony. See, Microsoft, when they buy something, they're not necessarily going to make it exclusive. They're talking about Elden Ring 6 probably might not be exclusive. But when Sony buys something, it's going to be just on their consoles.
But they have I think there's a new Sony president of America, I think, that took over in September, I believe.
Right.
Because I think Jim Ryan retired.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know. Who knows what this guy's,
What's his
Who knows?
philosophy on,
Who knows, man? Hopefully it takes Sony in a better direction, but
That's
yeah.
the thing. If Sony's top dog right now, hardware unit wise, they're not gonna want to do third party to throw it on they're not gonna make an Xbox port, or they're not gonna be down for that. Xbox does, Microsoft does that because it's a competitive thing. They want to make money even though they know they're kind of in third place.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Sticks thinks what? Like the only good thing that can come is a Bloodborne remake. Yeah. Yeah, and people
true.
keep talking about that too. Like, maybe they'll be able to get the Bloodborne remake.
I mean, they've remade everything else. Horizon. it's like it's only been 4 years.
Horizon gets a fucking remake.
Stop remaking stuff. Man.
If Sony provides,
I understand if it's a remake of a game that's like 15 years old,
Like
10
from a
10 years old.
GameCube or some shit.
Yeah.
Or a PS1.
Remake the X-Men arcade game.
Yeah, like that makes sense to me. It's something. 10 years is like the threshold for a remake. Anything beyond that or like younger than that, nah. Come on, man.
Bloodborne doesn't
Horizon?
doesn't need a remake. It needs a 60 frames per second patch. That's
Right.
all it needs.
Right. You know they
That's
did.
all
Somebody
it
actually
needs.
did it.
His frames.
Somebody actually did it. They modded the game and like hacked into like the source code and freaking made it run at 60
Did
frames.
they?
Yeah. But it was like fake 60 frames. It was
Alec,
like,
it keeps
man.
taking me off guard every time you switch to your camera. The duck hunt thing is killing me every time. I completely forgot about the other side.
Oh, there it is.
It gets me every time. I'm
That's
like,
why I printed it.
it takes me off guard every time. I'm like, dude, this shit is funny.
Man.
Stick said Sony owns
That.
Bloodborne. They own Bloodborne. The IP. I mean, or the whatever. It's
The IP.
the IP. Really, it's not even though From Software developed it. Freaking really, they own it. That sucks. So I guess maybe we'll see. Just do the 60 frame patch. Like forget about remaking the game. The game looks great. Bloodborne still looks great. Still, it just it's like 60 frames is buggy the way they did it. That's because they need an official patch.
Right.
It needs to be official.
Kevin's like, let me be your 60 frames per second guide on this. Let me make sure I'll know if it's good.
Chocolate. I just downloaded Devil May Cry 5 for the Xbox, 120 frames.
Oh boy.
Oh, dude, I saw that. I saw that email and I was like, I didn't do that.
Yep.
But I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I guess it was you.
And Eric, you know what? Assassin's Creed Syndicate, 60 frame patch.
Well, why would you tell me?
Because I know you like that game a lot, Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
No, it's not even one of my favorites.
No, but I thought
I
you
did
liked
like it, but it's not one of my favorites.
I do want to see it in 60 frames. To see it 60
I
frames.
give
tonight.
zero fucks about 60 frames. If anything, I like Unity. Unity, I get excited for. 'cause
A
Unity's
good
the
game.
goat.
Interesting. Interesting. All right.
All right, man.
Oh man, that was too. Look at this new freaking screen.
All right, just say the freaking.
No. Shout out to Algie.
Look at this
Just
new
say it,
screen.
man.
No, you have to understand.
And we're in the background.
We gotta
Mastermind.
respect. We gotta respect the audio listeners here. If you guys could check the video out for this, these new scenes that Al has crafted from the mind is just crazy. It's really awesome. But if you guys are listening to the podcast for the first time and you decided that you can't get enough of Level 857 and you just want to follow us everywhere, we got more content for you in the form of a streaming schedule. Starting Sundays, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got Let's Play Sundays, guys. It follows the theme of the podcast, right? There's 5 of us, so of course it's going to be multiplayer gaming, co-op, or versus. Usually 2 streams on Sunday. You have to join the Discord for the updates. Follow us on social media so you find out what games those are going to be.
At level 857.
Yes. So that's what's gonna happen. And Choc, what you got going on for Fridays?
Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. I play fighting games. I play beat 'em ups. Sometimes I beat people up. Sometimes I get beat up. This Friday, welcome to Run Back City. We are playing Street Fighter 6.
Oh,
So everyone who has Street Fighter 6, I I expect you to show up in that stream.
Yeah,
and I expect you to throw hands with me.
Yeah,
that means sticks. That means turbo. That means algae.
Yeah,
I'll
I was
fire the
about to
game
say,
up.
Listen, Turbo trying to cut it. Yeah,
That means bizarre. That
I'll-
means hyper slap. That means.
I haven't even played the game, and
that means algae.
So I haven't played the game yet. But I have it though. I have it.
I want all
haven't
the
played it.
smoke.
I wasn't able to do the last Street Fighter 6 streams you had, but I should be able to do this one. So yeah, I can't wait to make a return up in there.
You know, it was pretty funny. Remember, Al, when we were in Colombia and we were in the getting ready before we go out, we were watching
Yeah.
Fighter Fridays. It was,
Oh, yes,
Turbo
that was-
versus Choc.
Yo, that
And
was
we-
a cool match.
And we were like, "Come on, get
Yeah. We were yelling at the screen, like
yelling
it was-
at the
like it was-
screen. That shit was hilarious.
Oh, that was a fierce. Yeah, me
Oh.
and Choc have pretty fierce.
That
matches.
Yeah, we
shit
always
was-
have
I
fierce
think it was like Chun-Li and Luke or some shit.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
it was not our top character.
Yeah,
Right?
and it was a good fight though. The
That
fights
was
were
really
fucking
good,
dope.
man.
It really was.
That was dope.
I won that by the hair of my chin.
That was so
shit.
close.
It was
So
like
close.
a hit.
Yeah.
Every fight was a hit.
Like it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Could have gone either way.
That was fun.
Yep.
Good fight.
Oh, World of Bizarre might jump in there. He,
Hop us off.
He's trying to learn Cammy. Good character. Good character.
Okay.
And for
Better learn
Wednesdays,
Terry.
everyone, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, you have the podcast. All five of us, unless one of us is under the weather. But it's usually going to be all five of us. It's going to be you guys, live chat, audience, keeping this thing a party. If we have great guests like we just had today with Bannon and Adam from WayForward, then you know the guests we have and the conversation, the topic. It's going to be a great time.
Together, they're
Hell
Badum.
Yeah.
Wow. What the fuck, dude? I should mute your mic for that. Dude.
Badum.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone
Yes.
just logged off, man.
Yo,
we, almost,
dude.
we almost kept him.
You know,
Before they
Or-
they disappear completely.
Or
man.
Annan.
Oh God.
Yes.
Come on.
Stop.
All right.
And if anyone out there wishes to support the podcast, there are several
Yes.
things that you can do. You can tell family and friends, get them to subscribe, tell them that we exist. You can also rate and review us on your preferred podcasting platform, wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah.
Or you can become a member at Patreon or Fourth Wall.
For exclusive content and
Merch.
coming soon merch.
Yes, merch is coming soon, and
Yeah.
being a member will get you discounts on merch. So, the higher the tier, the more the discount. So there's going to be interesting things up in there. So, yeah, level 857/Patreon. Fourth Wall is going to be added soon. Very, very, very soon. That's going to be our other membership alternative. Same perks as Patreon. So it's like... guys, do that. We're gonna throw some exclusive videos that you can only get on there. Some videos that will go there first in the YouTube. So there's gonna be a lot.
Give you an example of one of the videos I'm currently in the midst of working on is my Tetris collection will be for the first time online through Patreon and Fourth Wall. So
Oh, shit.
yeah, it's a big deal. Never showed anybody this.
Al's been
so.
very secretive, very, very secretive. But now he's gonna let it all hang out with the podcast and not podcast, the Patreon and the membership. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Got a lot of stuff going.
Yeah. So you guys get on that. Several ways you can do it. Get involved.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, buddy. We
What a
need
good podcast today,
all the
guys.
help we can get.
Great podcast today, man. Shout
Yeah,
out
man.
to Adam Tierney, Bannon, Rudis.
Yes.
WayForward, doing what they do, making Double Dragons come to life.
Yes.
2 at a time. Good
Two at a
deeds,
time,
dudes.
man.
Absolutely.
And until next time, peace out, everybody.
Hug your parents.
Thank you so much for watching.
Peace.
Level 8.